What's happening, everybody? It is Saturday night, and I'd like to introduce Mr. James Sardina, our my running mate for the running as vice president. How are you today?
Thank you, Joey. Oh, I tried to put my real name on the screen. It must have still went as Clearwater Chad, but thank
Yeah,
you for.
I think you got to hit to save it. You got to click the
Yeah,
save
I
button.
thought I did, but I guess
Yeah.
it didn't work.
So let me just get out all the formalities out of the way. Welcome to the Catalano TV, and we're streaming on the political channel tonight. We're going to go over some things. We're going to talk about just some things that James and I got to be on the same page with. Obviously, the whole core thing to anything is we don't get signatures. We're not even going to be part of the election. So that's our goal. We have to get enough signatures in these states, and we need volunteers and support. I am running a grassroots campaign where I don't have corporate money. I don't have big corporations giving us thousands of millions of dollars. I don't have big donors giving me dropping 200,000 in my account. We don't have none of that. We're hoping that we get some people that believe in us and that want to help us with the fight and get us there. And we're going to show you everything tonight. But we got to start getting to the floor. We got to put the boots on the ground is what we got to do now because this year is going to go by fast. And if we could get ahead of it by the end of the year, and we do have signatures in say 10 states, and it's the 10 states that where you get if you win, you get the electoral votes to win. We'll be in perfect position. Um, I post daily on all my social media. X being I'll show you. I'm going to show you all the social media we have. Um, I have a new platform. And Skull is everybody can join there for free. It's strictly just a hangout, talking politics and just getting to meet people that are interested in the race. And I encourage you guys to join there. We'll have Zoom stuff on there. Check out all my posts that I put. Jim's been doing a lot of stuff too about the presidency. Now we all know that in joking in games, everybody has fun with you know him calling him a communist. I can assure you, the vice president is not a vice president to be is not no communist.
Right.
I think he's a hardworking middle class American that he's just tired of all the rich taking and just everybody gets the sloppy thirds and fourths. Well, at least the middle class gets that, and then the the poor folks down here, you know, we we get all about the sloppy 12ths. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. The middle class and the poor have gotten the shaft since the 1980s, and it's got to stop.
It's got to stop. There's a lot of things. People are like, you're crazy. You're never going to win. You know what? Realistically, we know the odds. But why don't we just take it for a minute and just you see that this is no grift. This is not just something I'm doing. This is something I really want to try for. Now, if I don't get elected or don't get on the ballot, but I give 110% effort every day and I try, and let's say I get on the ballot and I do get into the election, but I don't win, just think about how hard I worked at it and how I learned got all this experience in politics. And when I do get fully pardoned for everything in my life, then I could run for a local office if that's so be it. Believe me, I would have not chose the presidency if I was able to go to a state local office. I would have started where I should have. But because I'm a balls on kind of guy, and I like a good challenge, I put myself through hell. I mean, this is going to be hell. This is going to be. You saw President Obama went in, but he was black haired. He came out, he was all gray.
That's right.
Trump looks like he's 25 years older. That's a very stressful job. So it's but we know this country's in debt $33 trillion. Did you know that? $33 trillion, Jim.
Right. Yeah, it's ridiculous, and it's
And
got to stop. We got to stop spending our kids' money.
we got to stop bailing out other countries. I mean, there's no justification when we're that much in debt and we're sitting there helping people for hurricane relief or a disaster from a storm or whatever. It's just we got to stop. We can't be that because I look at it like this. I really believe that we get labeled as the sucker country by other countries, especially the ones that hate us. You know what I'm saying? And we're willing to go to bat to help them. We don't need to. We're supposed to be the most powerful country in the world. We're supposed to be, and I don't think we are anymore. I don't believe we are. People might debate that, but I think we're weakened a lot over the last 10, 15 years. I think corruption has been in politics for I don't know how many, probably hundreds of years, probably 100 years. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta challenge those people, and you gotta go after those people, and you can't be afraid. You can't worry about consequences when you're trying to do good. You got to be, for me to get out in front of everything with my all my bad in my life, and get out now even more so, because if I do make traction, if we make traction, we start getting noticed, and like when we go out on Twitter, and we I attach all the news stations and President Trump and uh, JD Vance and all the ex presidents, and I just do that every tweet, and Elon Musk, when you get noticed and they start seeing, well, this guy, look at this crazy guy thinking he's going to run for president. This guy has never been in our world. Let's go crush this guy. Oh, look at when they go to the computer and they call the FBI. Say, give me a rundown on Mr. Joseph Samuel Catalano III and Mr. James Sardina. They're going to say, oh, this vice president's pretty clean. Look at this guy. This guy's got really, it's crazy. We're going to crush this guy, and they're going to come out with the most horrendous videos on me. And if I de-weaponize it now by going ahead and just getting this out with now, it's not like you guys don't want to Dabbleverse, but I'm trying to get this out to everybody in the country. So I'm not worried about that, because I know my mistakes, and I know what I've done to repair my life. I'm not getting no younger.
I think the people of America are sick of career politicians. I think that
I
this
agree.
grassroots movement has to happen, and the people want it to happen.
I think if we go back to the way that the forefathers in 1776 meant this to be, the country would be stabilized again. I mean, the $33 trillion in debt is just getting digger and digger. Now, I'm not saying President Trump hasn't done a good job. I've always been backing President Trump. I've always thought he was done a lot of good things, but a lot of people are going after him, and I think they're going after him because here's a guy that not a politician, and he defeated all the odds. The difference is he was rich and powerful, and he just appealed to the American people what he was saying, and that's what it's about with this. When I go out and talk with the people, and they see the realness, and they see how transparent I am, and they see that where my heart is, and that I really love this country, and I really want to generally help people, and my ideas are what I want to do to make change. See, people don't want to hear pointing fingers, and I'm guilty of doing that, pointing fingers. Look what that. Forget about all that. We know what's wrong with the country. What am I going to do to fix it? That's what people want to. That's the whole key. People want to know. What are you going to do if you do get in? If we get you in, what are you going to do to fix the country? And I know the president's limited to a lot of stuff, and I got to learn. I got to learn the government side of this. I do. I understand that. So, but I'm doing it. I'm reading and learning and getting knowledge. Stuff that I probably should have learned when I was 17, 18, which I neglected school. I have to learn now. So that's on me. It's shame on me. But I like learning. I like absorbing knowledge, and the more knowledge I get, the better I feel inside. We don't know. We're all one thing for sure. We all can say is we have one thing in common. Every human being on on this earth, we're all going to die someday. Nothing could change that.
Right.
That's the one thing we all have in common. That's a fact. We're all going to die someday. We don't know when, but it's going to happen. And that's just something you can't stop. So I want to try to leave something good. And like I said, people make me out to be a monster, and I'm really not that bad, but I've made mistakes. But
but you've owned up to all of them, and most of them, yeah.
Yes, I have. Now I just want to play this little, just get a little break, a little humor here before we get into this. Supertips.gg/Joey C for the portion of Catalano TV. Please, I respect you guys. Respect me. If you're going to send those, just keep it to the satire part of the channel. If you really want to donate to the campaign, I will show you that. I will put that link in. It goes right into the FCC monitoring and everything. Listen, guys, I'm not a fool. I'm not going to misappropriate any funds because, first of all, I've already been in federal prison. So, and I'm sure there's eyes on me already the minute I registered and they approved me. You understand? Because I'm sure they ran every day. They know what my background is. So I'd be a fool to even try to bend or do anything shady. It's not worth it. Going to take one day of my life away again is not worth any amount of money to me. And never was about that. I just want to do good and I want to help people. So um, I'm gonna put this up. Hang on, we can put this in the chat. You got anything you want to add, Chad? I mean, are you any questions? You got any, what have you been since you've came on board and I've added you to be the to run with me? Well, how do you feel that if you feel if we put the effort in, we could make some noise?
I think anything's possible. I think there's a lot of presidents and vice presidents that that people thought they had no choice and had no chance, and I
That's
think
right.
you got to start somewhere.
Now, I already got the three things against me right off the bat. One, there's never been an Italian in office ever, ever. Never been an Italian president, which means America's a prejudice against Italians. That's not fair. Two, I don't think they've only had only two Catholics, I think, in the entire out of the 47 presidents. Um, and three, I'm not a politician, but I'm a convicted felon. So I got three right there off the top. And you know what? But it's like when you go to the World Series, when you come up and you're playing your baseball and you're labeled to be the last place team and you fight all year long. Next thing you know, you're in the playoffs. You win the division. You win the playoffs. Now you're in the World Series, and you grind 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 and you fight every tooth and nail to score runs, and you
Right.
win the World Series. That no one thought it was even possible. Well, just look at it like that. We're two guys that everybody's saying it's impossible. You're an idiot. Calling me names, calling him a communist, saying all this stuff. It's all good and fun and games, but I thought when you guys really thought that I wasn't doing a grift here, and I'm not, and I am serious, very serious about this. Chad Zumach really thought this was all a joke until we went on him today, and
Right.
he really saw the effort and all the work we're putting into it. So he changed his opinion.
If you don't take a swing, you'll never get a shot.
You'll never know if you don't ask a question. You'll never know if you're going to get yes or no. It's the same thing, you know. So you guys give me credit to a point, but then you don't give me credit at all. You guys think I'm just some moron, and I'm not. I'm really not. I play a
People
good moron a
people
lot of
thought
times.
Abraham Lincoln shouldn't be president, but I think he made us a pretty good president.
Well, yeah, it was. Well, Washington and
Yep.
Lincoln is how I think this country the way it should be run, the way their ideas, the way they wanted to do it. It was meant to be like that. But these politicians today, all they do is they get up there and they do these elections and they make all these promises and they just get they sit there and up at the podium, they smile and they're in their fancy suits and they're giving their speeches and they really don't care what they're saying because they just know one thing: how much am I going to be getting in my pockets? And that's what the facts. People are naive to think that there's not a lot of corrupt senators. I did a lot of research. Um, I did a research on the good apples and the bad apples of the Senate, and that's what I labeled it. It's Operation Good Apple and Operation Bad Apple. See what I did with this.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's files. I got the files on of every senator, and I'm going to probably read that list tonight. Who I think is the rotten apples, who the ones that are trustworthy, who the ones that are bad, and ones that have already got criminal records, who've got caught with fraud or defrauding the government while they were in
Right.
office.
Yeah, I was just going to say this campaign and this presidency isn't about making money off the back end like some presidents. This is about doing the work that the people demand.
It's about doing the right thing, and it's about doing the right thing and sticking up for our country and fighting for the people that can't fight for them. There's a lot of people out here that just, when you're poor, you're not even considered a citizen. You understand? If you see how poor neighborhoods are treated, all the way from the police to the stores, look at what history has done. When they allowed crack on the streets, you know what they did, right? Their idea,
purposely put it right. They purposely did it.
they purposely put out crack on the street into the African American neighborhoods to depopulize the African Americans, to kill them. This is why they did this. It miserably backfired because this is the geniuses that we have in office and these old men that are just crooked in every possible way and evil, and they really are. They live by the devil. They don't live by God. None of those people could possibly tell me they live by anything that God does, because they go into you got presidents, ex-presidents on the Epstein list. But it's okay if they know I got it today from somebody. I gathered what he was saying. They know all the amendments. I know they went to the island, and I know they steal. That's okay because they know the amendments. That they're okay to vote them in. But that's pretty backwards. I'd rather have a guy that's going to fight, who's got more truth to tell, and who has the experience of living on the bad side and lived all the rough patches. So he's a warrior. He's a person that'll fight to the death to protect the people in this country. You understand?
That's
And
right. A
I
lot of
got
these
nothing.
presidents, yeah.
That's right. I got nothing but to do but be transparent because
A lot of these presidents do backdoor deals and side arrangements, side
a
deals, and we're
lot,
not going to do that.
a lot. And Biden, from what I understand, when I was taking care of the colonel. Now here's a man that was in the military for a lot of years and he made it to a colonel, and he's been to the White House many times in meetings with a lot of presidents. And he does not like Joe Biden. He was telling me some stories about Joe and his family. And he told me Biden's probably the one guy in politics that stole more money than anybody in politics. I'm talking like $1 trillion in his career. This guy has made deals with foreign countries and pocketed a lot of money. He's not a good man, but this is the guy. So I know I could do a better job than Joe Biden. There's no doubt. I mean, if I can't, look out, then we got trouble. I mean, I understand people think that this is me. You can't do this. You're an idiot. No, I'm not an idiot. Do I have to learn government? Yeah, I got to learn government. Is it necessary right at this moment? No, it's not, because we're trying to sell the people of that they trust us to lead them and make this country right again, and promise
Right.
them we're not going to be putting money in our pockets. We're not going to care about us. We're going to care about you, what it's meant to be. You put officials in the office, and they're supposed to care for the people. They're supposed to have a door open 24/7 when people are in trouble. They don't do that. They don't do that. They
Right.
always have excuses. When you got government programs, they always got an excuse on the phone. Oh, we're out of funding. We're out of this. Why are they out of funding when you just got funded for something? Where's all the money at? They never could justify it. Just like the thing with us with FEMA. Yes, we obviously we were guilty, right? But we would have never got investigated if their own people in FEMA, one of the supervisors in a crew of 10 people, were doing false claims and putting the money in their pocket. It's a fact. So they covered that up because there's going to be a big scandal and a big embarrassment to this country. So they ordered immediately to go after every person that was low income, every single claim, which was a lot of claims when that hurricane hit, Irma, and investigate every one of them. Even if you don't see nothing, like if you look at it right off the top and say, "Not this is perfect," you can tell you don't see no holes in it. Investigate everybody to take the heat off it. That's what they did.
I think it's the government's fault for giving the money away too easy without checks and balances.
Look at what they did with Hurricane Katrina. I heard in New Orleans, people were leaving different states to go online over there. They were giving out $1,000 Visa cards. You didn't even have to fill out nothing. You just went in line and showed an ID. That was it. Sometimes people didn't even show an ID. People were going back in the lines and keep getting 1, 2, 3 of them. This went on until they finally caught it, and they had given away like $300,000 worth of Visa cards, and realized that they were getting scammed by everybody. Now, you think that they really didn't know? I think they're part of the scam, and that's the truth. Just because you got money, and just because you're a politician, you got power, don't mean you're not a scumbag. Because it's like this: if you're a scumbag most of your life, when you become 80 or 90 years old, you're still a scumbag. You just can't do what you did 25, 30 years ago.
Right.
You understand? That's just the difference. A scumbag is a scumbag. A good guy is a good guy. You understand? A good woman's a good woman. You know, and that's just facts. There's good and bad in every shape, walk of this life. And that's so I'm going to put this in the chat, you guys. This is, if you really want to help with the election, this is where it goes. You guys can check it out. You'll see that it's all good with the government. It's all legit. And like I said, I am going to learn government. I'm doing that. And I know you guys like to joke around and you like to come at me, but you're not going to discourage me because I believe in something. I'm a fighter. What I believe for a cause, I go for it. And it doesn't matter if I fail. At least I got out of bed to do it. And I am not on the list.
Right. We're not.
I can say I'm on the list. You understand? I didn't go to Epstein's Island, right? I never did and never would. So, but you got the Clintons testifying, trying to be big heroes in this country by giving their statements. They're gay and transparent. Isn't what she said? But then she goes, I don't recall Bill ever going to that island. Oh, but then I asked Bill, and Bill said, "Well, don't you remember I had to do some campaign work? I was doing some fundraising." He was on the plane going over there fundraising. Yeah, good deal. Yeah, I believe that one. And she thinks she's going to sell that. Now I'm sure, without a doubt, she made a deal that her and Bill get 100% immunity, whatever they're saying. So that's why they did it. They didn't do it. I promise you, they didn't do it if they didn't get a deal.
Right. Yeah, it was heavily negotiated.
Believe that. You better believe that. She ironclawed that where she gets nothing coming to her bill, which is fine. You know what? It is what it is. When you're in the powerful person in the world at one time, you're president, you have rights, I guess, you know. But you're not above the law. That's what presidents and senators think they're above the law. Senators are not above the law. Nobody's above the law. I'm not. He's not. You're not. I've seen a lot of corruption in my life. Take Chicago, for instance. Chicago is one of the most corrupt. Probably got to be the top 3 corrupt cities in the country. You know, I don't know. I've been away from Chicago for a long time, but I know back when I grew up, it was if you had money, you had a judge in your pocket. If you had money, you had cops in your pocket. Now, one of the other worst places, New Orleans. That's a very corrupt. New Orleans, their entire police department in the 90s, 80s, and 90s was so corrupt. I mean, from the top all the way down, that the FBI launched a big investigation that took a lot of them out. You know, so and New York, of course, it has. You know, they have the home of the 5 mafia families, and now they got the Russian mob and all kind of mafia there now. But Chicago is a very corrupt place, especially Cook County. They call it Crook. They don't call it Crook County for nothing. Mm-hmm. So I put that. That's the actual fundraiser. If you guys are interested. Oh, I put it in the wrong chat too. Put it in my. Let me get back. Oh, here we go. But we're gonna show you some things tonight. I'm only gonna be on probably to about. It came out at 8. I'll try to be out of here before 10. I got to get up early tomorrow. I got some things to do tomorrow. Sunday, I got to go to a couple of things in the places in the morning. So I want to get some good rest tonight. But like I said, supertips.gg/Joey C. If we got any super tips, if we do get any tonight, or super chats and super tips, I'll read them about halfway through. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you a lot of documents tonight. We're going to talk. Chad, did I send you the stuff I got from New York? Did I send you the paperwork that I showed you what the sheet was?
I think a while back, yeah.
Okay, because that's the specific sheet that you have to get for signatures, and I don't know if I send you the booklet, but you could tonight when we're done, I'll give you the number to the election board, because you know what I'm saying, and you're probably in your town, you probably have an election office somewhere down there. You know what I'm saying? You can go and they could give you maybe the packet.
Oh, okay. You have no idea.
I'll have it mailed to you or something. But I got the actual. With New York, we need 45,000 signatures, and you have to make sure that you witness everybody's. You can't just turn away from anybody signing them, because you got to make sure that they have an ID. You got to you got to check. Some states are like that. You got to check their ID. Ask them if they're a voter, if they're a registered voter. If they're not, there's no sense of signing it.
Oh, okay.
Because it's just going to be a wasting. It's going to be bad for us. I'll explain all that to you when we're talking private. Okay. That's what I do every day. I'm on the phone and I'm learning about what's your policy. A lot of states are like, you're about a year early calling. We don't have the packet yet for 2028. But you want if you need. I understand the need for you to get started early. You could use the 2024 packet. It's pretty much going to be the same. So at least the forms. But a lot of states are saying them way early. Arizona is the one that states said, well, we won't have the packet out for about a year. Another year, they said. I said, okay. But it's very important that we get ahead of this game, because if we're dead, if we're nowhere by December, then obviously I have to fold, because we won't be able to do it all in 27 and part of 28. I don't think we can get it done. We need this year. We need all this year and next year to get what we need done. It's going to be that much because of the donations. I got to go to a lot of states, and the way I want to do it is I want to campaign and I want to get signatures. So I want to go in a big RV bus, and just drive state to state. You know what I'm saying? And do what we have to do there, and then hopefully that James can go accompany us on some of the East Coast stuff or wherever he wants, whenever he gets time. Because I know he's got his regular job, but he'll have to start thinking, if we do win, he's going to have a full-time job at the White House.
Yeah, I'll have to take a leave of absence for my job.
He'll have to tell his union he's got to go be the vice president now.
Right.
But I will promise you this. I'm promising all Dabbleverse people. If we get in, and this is my camp, this is my first promise, the whole entire Dabbleverse is invited to the inauguration night to the party. You guys will all be able to come.
That's great.
Of course, after background checks are done on everybody. That's the first and foremost thing. That's it. I can't bypass the security because national security is at stake. I can't do that. But you guys will all have invites. The entire Dabbleverse, even the haters. So it's time to get together as a team and let's fix this. Let's not talk about it.
That's right. United teams win, divided teams fail.
That's right. And you're only as good as the people that you surround yourself with. That's another thing that I've always learned. When I was a boss in baseball, I was only as good as the team I put together. Because a good boss, whenever he's given directions to do work in the job, long as he's willing to go out and do that work as much as he's telling them to do it, that makes a good boss. See, I would never ask my guys to do anything that I couldn't go out and do faster and better than them. You understand? Because when I needed to be there, like if someone called off or whatever, I had to go in and do it, right? I still got to get the work done no matter what. It's my responsibility. So I've got challenged by a lot of young guys that I've hired in the locker room saying, you're too old. I could run circles. Yeah, they never ran circles around me. I did this too many years. I know exactly with my eyes closed, I could organize, and I whipped up some clubhouses in good shape that were horseshit stadiums. I thought I put that one thing here, but I guess we're going to go. We're going to switch over to video side. And let's play. I got everything set up here.
Right.
Where's my? I just gotta. Oh yeah. So this is before we start. This is for you guys. Enjoy this little bit.
Yes. My girlfriend and you. Let go, so I don't give a damn about you and your girlfriend. Matter of fact, I don't give a damn about you neither. Just, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gone. I'm through with this mess here. I've had it. Y'all done push me over the edge. I'm through. Y'all enjoy your weekend. Matter of fact, enjoy your life. I'm just through with this mess here. Act a damn fool. Act like you 12 years old or something here. Shit. I ain't come here for this mess here. Hard as I work. Come here. Then I'm gonna give you something for free. I'm a damn fool. See if I come back here next week. Shit. I'll be damned if I come back here next week and take this here punishment here. Shit. Y'all can kiss my ass. She believe me when I tell you. I'm so through. Should have took my ass on down to White Castle like I thought. I said, CB, go on to White Castle, get you something to eat. Well, I said, hell no, I ain't gonna do that. I got a show to do. I'm gonna help these here people in New York City. What should I do? I should have took my ass down there and got me some hamburgers. Shit. Stuff my damn face watching Golden Girl. Get off of here. People ain't got nothing better to do than call her after food.
All right,
it's a Friday night, and you call her after
CB Walker. That's a great CB Walker. All right, so let's see. We're gonna start here. This is a statement that I want. It explains why I feel one of my strengths is my trials and tribulations, which is what's going to make me be very transparent, and why people are going to appeal to that. Because like Chad or like Jim said, the American people are done with the traditional politicians. This country is about ready to almost like be at a stoppage to not vote, because there's too much mixed signals getting to them every year. Same old stuff day in and day out. Same promises, same stuff. Nothing happens. We just get more in debt and more taken away from us. And they're trying to treat us like we're not people. It's getting bad, and it's only going to get worse. Now, I think if President Trump didn't get in, we would already be at a bad place. If it was someone else, we might be at that place where that we know we're going to, unless we stop it. So this is a thing I want to show you guys. First thing I did, and hang on, it says why 35 years of addiction makes me the most honest candidate. 35 years navigating the brutal mechanics of addiction, stripped away every illusion in my life. Addiction does allow you to fake strength. It exposes you. It humbles you. It forces you to confront yourself in ways most people never will. That's the truth. When you really, as you get older and you put years and years of addiction And I prayed all the time for God to take it away from me. Just please take it away from me. And it had such a hold on me because it's a disease that's really bad. And there's no for not every drug there's a cure for. They have any type of medicine to wean you off. And let me just, those clinics that they have for people that are on opiates, that's just a fix. Don't get them off of it. That's just a mask, because they wind up figuring out how to get high on that stuff. So the only way to do it is cold turkey and the natural way, and just be done with it and really realize it's over. You can't do this no more, because there's nothing out there. They give you drugs they medicate you to get you off hard drugs, which is wind up getting addicted to drugs then, you know what I'm saying, all over again. So it's just a circle. It's a very bad sick disease, as alcoholism is as well. There are no mask or rock at rock bottom, no spin, no handlers, no talking points. What survived wasn't ego, it wasn't image, it was truth. You have to look yourself in the mirror and you have to be truthful to yourself. And that's the only way you're going to beat addiction. That's the key point. You gotta know that you got a problem. You gotta channel the problem to know I got a problem here, and I'm not only hurting myself, but I know other people I'm hurting too in many ways. Career politicians build personal build personas. I had mine burned away, and when you survive that fire, you become immune, exposed. I don't fear accountability. I don't fear truth. That kind of transparency can be manufactured in Washington. It's earned 100%. And what they do in Washington is manufactured. Everything's manufactured. Surviving addiction didn't make me weak. It made me disciplined. It made me self-aware. It made me restraint to the empty promises of power and the quiet seduction of corruption. When you rebuild your life from nothing, you stop chasing illusion. You start fixing roots. And that's why I believe something simple but powerful. Honesty and integrity can still win the White House by fixing the roots of the problem. Catalano for America 2028. And that's how I felt when I was putting this into the computer to put it in more understanding words, because this is all true. Because you lose your soul. And it's very easy to lose your soul. And once you lose your soul, it's very hard to come back. And like I said, a lot of people can talk, but I struggled, and I self-inflicted stuff on me, and I beat the odds. So that's why I feel I'm going to make a good candidate. I'm going to appeal that to the American people.
That's right.
And once you connect with the people and they see the realness, that's the person they're going to want in. So don't think that there's no chance, because everybody has a chance to get somewhere. And if I do it, I'm going to make everybody proud, because I'm going to do something not only for you and your families and this country and my families and my children, my grandkids and your grandkids and all your ancestors. I'm going to do something that it needs to be done. It's just, I'm not doing nothing special. I'm doing what's supposed to be right and supposed to be in place already. I'm just trying to find that to bring it back. And by all means, I will fight whatever way I have to. That's on me. But I'm not going to fall into their game. They're not going to suck me into their game and get me when they start they start noticing me and they start coming after me. I'm not going to jump on their fence. The only way I beat them if I stay true to me and true to the plan, and then I'll beat them. So that's my little speech. And yes, I've been studying this, so you guys know all the amendments, 27 amendments. I study them every day. I understand I have to know government, so I don't want you guys to think that I'm just taking this not serious. Okay, so I make sheets. I have sheets all over the place that I read every day, and I'm reteaching myself how to read and how to process stuff and to put it in memory. You know, I had a reading comprehension problem for many years, that I could read something and 5 minutes later you ask me what I read and I couldn't tell you because I didn't comprehend it right. Now I'm better at it. You know, now that I'm finally clear-minded, you know, but you know, and I feel I'll even be more true. I don't know what damage I've done to my brain with all the drugs I've done. I notice sometimes I get a speech impediment sometimes when I'm talking. which was one of the things the doctor had talked about. Your sensories, we don't know. They didn't know. That was the problem. He said he couldn't predict what long-term damage I would have. As I get older, I'll start seeing stuff. So I don't know. That's one of the things that's been happening a lot. I get a lot of tics and a lot of speech impediments, and that's from hardcore drugs in your body every day. I thank God every day I never shot any drugs. I never put a needle in my arm ever in my life. Where some people that's how they got high. I never in my life did I ever do that, and I stay true to myself because it's very easy to fall in that pattern, especially if you get around people that are doing that and they're saying this is the best way to do it. I've had people come up, and I told them, not for me, it's not. I would never, and I stayed true to that. And that's another thing that why even when I was an addict, I still did it with putting rules on myself that I wouldn't break. I wouldn't go over barriers. There's things I wouldn't do like some people would. I mean, I've seen a lot of people do some crazy shit, and I didn't judge them. That's their life. But I wasn't going to be part of it. I would not. I don't need to do that kind of stuff. I knew how to work and I knew how to hustle. So I didn't have to go out and hurt some old lady or go rob somebody and beat them in the head. I didn't have to do none of that. I would never do nothing like that. That's just not how I'm built.
Right.
So I just wanted you guys to see that. I do study that, and I'm going to learn it. I'm going to learn it backwards and forwards. There's 27 amendments, and the 25th Amendment. Somebody asked me today on Chad, which was it was due to the President Kennedy in 1963 assassination, and then 67 is when they adapted the 25th Amendment, and so I already remembered that. See, I remembered that little part in the amendment already. So I know my memory is getting better for me to able to keep stuff stored up here. Let's see what we got here. All right, here's the thing that I believe in. This is called the recovery addiction recovery policy. This is just some notes that I have that I want to go over, and I want the vice president to see the things that we're fighting for. This is called the rewrite. I rewritten the addiction recovery policy for someone who survived it and I did. This is something I lived. You understand? So, what better than a person that went through the trials and tribulations for years? I should know better than anybody that didn't. I mean, there's a lot of people in office that they weren't addicts. They don't, you know what I'm saying? They don't really know they don't know nothing about it. They put laws in effect and they do bullshit stuff for people. When push comes to something, it's like the doctors. When you get in an accident, they give you medicines and they get you hooked on opiates. And then once they get you hooked, they take you off of it and they kick you to the curb and say, we can't give you no more pain medication. So then the people are like, what are you talking about? I'm not even fixed here. So then good people become criminals because they got to go out and get this drug because the doctors strung them out. And that's a fact. We know this from Florida.
Right, exactly.
The pill mills that were Pam Bondi closed down. She went through Florida like a storm and closed up. There was pill mills at every corner.
The doctors get kickbacks for subscribing the drugs.
That's correct. Doctors get kicked back. I didn't know that. Doctors get kicked back for even the new drugs that are introduced. When they're promoting something and they're giving you, like in their office, they give it to you free samples. It's because they're being paid to do that. Spokesperson for that drug. They don't even, and some doctors they go so under, they take an oath, but some doctors will they don't research the medicine. It might not even be fully approved yet, but they'll give it to their people. They don't know what's going to happen. I don't even think any doctor can really know, because that's why they have side effects on every bottle. I mean, this is my potassium, and there's side effects. This is just a potassium pill I take every day, so I don't cramp up and get Charlie horses in my feet and my legs when I was heavy. So, and that's a pretty strong pill. I haven't had a problem with a Charlie horse since I started going on that. I had low potassium in my body, but now I think I did well for myself. I've still got a little bit of a belly, but here's me. I was out to here, guys. You remember that? I had a belly. I had a 48 waist. I'm a 36 waist now. 48 waist. I lost that much of my stomach, and I don't think I look too bad. You understand?
That's amazing.
And that's that. And I've got more to go. I took the initiative, and no one was going to get me healthy but myself. I have to care. Why should anybody else care for me to get healthy? People are telling me, you ain't going to do nothing. No, but I do going to do something because I want to live. So I did. So this is what I think is a key point to this. For decades, Washington has been patching symptoms while the crisis rages on. It's a fact. 100,000 people died last year from opiates, from fentanyl. Listen, I don't want to hear how these people get in. They get in because they pay money to the borders. They bribe people to come over here. You got corrupt people at the borders and let the people in. These boats that come in. See, drug dealers are smart. See, that's another thing. I know the industry really well. So they'll have 2 ships go out from wherever countries come in, whatever they're bringing in, cocaine, methamphetamine, whatever. And they'll have 10,000 kilos on one ship and then 4,000 kilos on another ship. And they're always going to let the smaller ship get busted. That's the whole kill. They sacrifice loss so the big boat gets through. And we know this because our government takes large money from all these cars. You want to stop this? There's no reason why fentanyl should be here and killing our people, killing our young people. It's terrible. I mean, first of all, I don't understand these kids today. Why would you want to do a drug that right off the rip, you have a 50-50 chance of living with as soon as you digest that drug? A 50-50 chance. You think in my days I would ever take a chance on a drug that I had 50-50 chance? You're either going to die or you're going to live. You don't know. It's going to go one or the other. That's how strong that stuff is. And that, to me, that's no way to put yourself through alone, just on the panic alone, worrying about, am I going to make it through? And people that do it alone are fools. If you must do that drug, I hope they're smart enough to have somebody there with Narcan, at least give it a chance to save their life. There are a lot of people that have been found dead that did it alone, and it's a sad thing because once they get lost and they get the disease in their body, let me tell you something. If they don't want to help themselves, they're not going to get cured. And if you're a good person, and I got a lot of experience that I could help addicts. That's another thing I want to do. I want to help people. I want to help people show them there's a better way. Yeah, there is. Life is good. All right, so let's see. We're here. The system has managed to headlines instead of fixing roots. I know this because I lived it. 35 years navigating addiction, stripped away every illusion. No politician can manufacture. Did I read this one already? Did I do this one already? No, I didn't do this one. It sounded like I did. Okay, in early 2026, federal policies in a mix of executive orders, reauthorization, and agency coordination, the Great American Recovery Intuitive is coordinating federal agencies around prevention treatments, recovery, and reentry. The Streets initiative targeted the overlap between homelessness and addiction with crisis care and housing stabilization. The Supporting Act reauthorized continues funding for treatment programs, recovery and housing, and expanding services through 2030. There has been progress, but there are also cuts. When they try to implement something new, this is the other thing they do. Bureaucratics, bottlenecks, and centralized control that often feels disconnected from real life recovery, which is true. You give them hope in recovery, but then you cut back funding on part. If you're going to do it, you got to do it right. There's no sense of doing anything half-assed. We're just wasting money, throwing money down the drain. That's another way to save money. You're going to implement these programs, and you're going to really get to cure people, and you're going to get people to be productive citizens. It's why when I talk about the Prison Reform Act, how I know this, I know that they're full of shit when they say they got prison reform. They don't. I got a lot of people that are in prison, they're friends of mine, and they've been back and forth. No, there's no reform. So especially if Florida tries to sell that, wait till I go on the Hill and over there in Tallahassee, and I go when they have those discussions.
Well, the government makes more money when you're in jail, don't they, Joey?
Yeah, of course. Let me tell you something. When I was a federal inmate because the federal government doesn't have holding. Some cities they have MC units, which is like downtown Chicago, downtown New York. It's a building, a high-rise building, and they floor the worst of the worst. Not every place has it. Most cities don't. Florida don't have one, so they contract to the county jail. They pay like $800 or $1,000 a day to house. How much is it? Okay, my mistake. I thought it was. Somebody told me that it was $1,000. I didn't know this as a fact. My wife just said it's $300 a day. They pay to the county for federal inmates every day. So 3 times 7 is $2,100 a month, right? $2,400 a week, right? $2,400 a week. $2,400 a week. So that's 96 $9,600 a month just to pay them to house me and feed me. That's a lot of money. Now, I'm not the only one in there. There's thousands of people sitting and waiting to go to prison or trial. Now, you do it every month. How much money there is there? It's a waste of money. The camps, when Trump had his first term, he was talking about doing away with all the camps because it's just like college. Nothing locked. You're in a dorm. They don't teach you. You're just a number to them. They want you to go work in the warehouse, and they want to work you for 23 cents an hour. They want you to be their slaves to the government. They want you to go make furniture. They want you to go make office equipment. You know the stuff that goes in office, the cubicles that they have in offices. The federal government has that contract. That's one. What's the name of the thing they have? What's the contract called, man? Unicor. That's their big. And I looked up. One of the country's biggest incomes is coming from the federal prison, Unicor. One of the biggest incomes that we have is the federal prison because they pay them 23 cents an hour and they treat you like a fucking mule. You're just a chain gang. That's all you are. And so the camps are a waste of money. You could close the camps up, put the people on anchor monitors. You might as well just put them on anchor monitors, put them on house arrest. And then they could go self-sustain themselves and go to, they're on house arrest. You're monitoring them. They got to get permission to go so they could go do a trade. But we'll talk about that later in somewhere down the show. I'm going to talk about 2 points like this and the reform, and I'm going to show you some of my things that I have to show you about me, and then we'll talk to Vice President James Sardina. Okay. And I think, guys, a lot of people, I like James since the day I met him. And I feel like I've known him a long time, but I'm very proud to have picked him because, kidding aside, the Dabbleverse is his fun, his outlet. But the man, he has a regular life and he works, he has to go work to pay his bills. He has to take care of his child. He has to maintain his property. So, no idiot can do all that. You understand that? So when you guys are hard on me and him, it's just overboard because the man obviously has done everything right in his life to make himself have a retirement.
It is true. We joke around with Dabbleverse, but this is serious stuff.
Right.
I want to represent, like you, the people that are middle class. I'm fighting to stay middle class, working 2 jobs and manage a property and do my union work. And I think a lot of the people are the same way. We're trying to grow the middle class and stuff like that.
Well, I look at some of the silly things we've done when a hurricane takes out a country and they send 20, 30, 40 million dollars over that country. Well, imagine if they put those into sustainable programs, prison reform, to teach someone a trade, a good trade, something that they'll come out. They did their time. And I'm not talking about this. It has to be first timers and non-violent crimes. Anybody that's a violent crime, they don't eligible for this program. You understand? Non-violent crime. Start while they're in there. They're going to work. Sign with 4, 5, 6 companies that are productive, good paying job. Welding, to become a welder, to become a HVAC, stuff like that. Stuff that pays very well and is rewarding. Teach them, get them where they go to school, they learn, they take the test, they get certified. Then when they get out, you don't just say, here you go, here's a bus ticket, see you later. No, now you're going to send them home and you're going to have housing. We're going to have housing for them. First 3 months. When they get there, they get drug tested. They'll be on drug testing. They'll have to stay in school. They'll have to get a job. And we'll have Job Corps set up with the companies that are training them to guarantee that they're going to get hired. Now you get a guy that's making $1,500 a week. He's been a drug addict, burnt out criminal. He was a good guy at one time, but he became this drug addict and couldn't find his way back to life. He finally got prison. He got scared to death in prison. He don't want to go back to prison. He really wants to have his life back. And you get him the path. He's got a job. Now he's making money. The deal is they got to put it in the bank account that's monitored by the people at the halfway house. You have to put so much away that you can't touch, because after 3 months you're going to have to go on your own. You could either stay in the property you're in, or you're going to have to go out and find it. But just think, if they're making the money and they start paying bills and they start seeing, this ain't bad. I'm living normal. I got a nice place. I got a great job. I'm eating great. I met a nice woman. I love her. I'm going to marry her. Now you got a guy that's got the means to take care of a family. You make a productive citizen out of this man, a tax-paying citizen, instead of having him be on all the programs of getting free money for the government. You now turned him into a working citizen that's going to pay taxes, and he's happy, and he never goes back to crime. Now, I'm not saying it's going to work for everybody, but I promise you it's going to work for the majority of them. If they have a decent out and a way to come to society, you just said it here, in society to be productive. But they don't do that. They kick you out to the prison and say, we'll see you back here in 3 months. We know, you're just a loser. You can't, you got to treat people, if they do the time and they rehabilitate themselves, you got to treat them like humans. You got to give them, we're all humans. You can't treat them like a dog, like an animal. It's not fair. Now, I'm not saying that some prisoners shouldn't be, because the ones that are like, I just read an article, I just read something about, my daughter told me about this guy, what just happened the other day? A couple of days ago, this guy killed a 3-year-old baby girl. He mangled her. He did some bad things to this little girl. He's in Marion County Jail where I sat before I went to prison. And I swear to God, I'm so enraged what he did. They got detailed what he did to this little girl. It sickened me that I hope that somebody, by the grace of God, in that county jail takes him out like they took Jeffrey Dahmer out. And don't waste no money on a trial for this man, because if he did what he did to a 3-year-old girl, there's no saving that soul. He's already gone. And that's what you pray someone takes care of him right away. And it saves us the hassle if I have to go through the family going through this and everything else. This was a 3-year-old little girl, and I was in tears when I saw it. Because I'll tell you what, if that was my grandchild, I would not become a human being no more. I'd become a machine. I promise you, I put myself right in where he's going. I will break every law to get myself in jail just so I could take care of him. That's a fact. That's how I'm built. Sickening. How do you do that to a little child, man?
That is sick.
Just all right. So you guys get the idea. This is they're starting to get on the right track with recovery, but they're tweaking other things that are not working. So they need to, if you're going to go in with something like this, don't subtract. You don't have to necessarily add, just build the right formula. People will, if they're getting something out of it to learn and they really want it, and you got everything where they don't, because you panic when you start saying, oh, you told me last week I was going to have housing when I got out of here. Now I don't got no, I've been here for the last 6 months. I got nowhere to go. And they change that up on somebody. What's he going to say? I'm failed again. I went ahead and I fixed myself. I go to prison. I'm accountable. I rebuilt it myself by going to prison and doing the time. You guys promised me all this, and then now you're going to pull something away from me? What do you think they're going to do? They're going to get all depressed. They're going to walk out of the rehab, and they're going to go right to the street to go do drugs. That's what we're doing, the message we're doing by doing that. Not everybody can be saved, but we could do a lot better than what we're doing. We waste enough money in this country. We could do better in a lot of areas. So you guys get the gist of that. So I don't want to really bore you guys with this. This is just what I stand for, things that I stand for, that I want you guys to understand why, what I believe in, and just my beliefs, and how I want to participate and help do my part. I sat for years, especially my last 5 or 7 years that I was an addict, and I would talk. And I have deep conversations with God. I swear to you, I would sit there and talk, just like I'm talking to you guys right now. And I say, what's my purpose here? I don't get it. Was my purpose to come here to this earth to be a complete failure and to be an addict? And I mean, what's the sense of living? I didn't have no purpose. I was, a year ago, I was in a bad place with my mind, and I was depleting myself health-wise. I was up 265, 48 waist, and I was just expanding. I was not getting healthier. Maybe I projected I was okay. I wasn't. I don't think I would have made it through this year if I would have not fixed myself. That's the truth. I would have. A lot of people said, "Who's the next person to die in the Delver?" It probably were right. I probably would have, but I would have demised myself sometime this year if I'd have went to that pace and gained. If I'd have got anywhere to 280, 290, I'd have been done. I would have had a heart attack. It'd have been all over. I wouldn't be able to recover from it. I would have had a stroke. And it's bad. So I had to say to myself, wake the fuck up. Wake up and do something about it. And I do, and I'm going to continue doing it. And like I said, who wants to be, I don't want to be 20 again. Do you want to be 20 again, Chad?
No, I'm enjoying every year.
I don't want to be 20 again. I was a good guy, but I was also I had the capability of being a bad guy in my 20s. Same in my 30s. I don't want to be that guy again. I want to be where I am, a 60-year-old man that's going to grow, prosper, and help as many people as I can while my time on this earth. And do crazy stuff like running for president of the United States. It keeps me sharp. It keeps me to learn. And if it comes with failures, hey, my life is built around failure. But let me tell you something. Every failure has made me stronger and molded me who I am. You have to fail before you succeed. Not a lot of people are born with money and get companies handed to them out of college. You know, not everybody has that opportunity. Some people don't have no opportunity. And I'm not saying that. First and foremost, everybody should help themselves. You always should make the effort to help yourself. But some people can't. So there's some people that don't know how. I don't know if I don't know anybody personally that some people in the Dabbleverse, but in my chat room, I don't even know who's here. I didn't even look. But I'm sure there's some people that struggle and that are addicts and poor, and there's probably a lot of rich people that own companies that are successful, you know, and there's probably a lot of good people. There's a lot of rotten souls in the Dabbleverse too, because the Dabbleverse is just built around anger, lies, hurting people, and sticking a knife in people. That's what the Dabbleverse is. It's always been like that. It's an evil cesspool. But people have fun. There's a lot of people that enjoy it. The people that try to enjoy it, they get that part taken away from them by the people that are real evil, you know. And me, I never thought I was a good streamer. I've tried so many angles to stream, but at least I made the effort all the time, and you know, I tried something new. I'm not afraid to do. I mean, even Rocco said it many times. At least he tries something new. I'm not afraid to try something.
Right.
I'm not good. I don't know if I've gotten a lot better. But 2 years ago, I was all over the place, man. I was the guy that screamed and yelled, and I argued with people well, you know. I try to go on shows. I know that when I'm on other shows, real good shows, that people say, man, you did a great episode on Pat Dixon. What a difference when you're a guest on a show and you got good conversation. I'm a great guest. But I think my podcast is the thing. We're on the right track with Mike Pacchetti, that show. Mike Pacchetti and Lou and I bringing back Busted Balls. I got to meet NJ Ranger, is a great guy. I mean, I feel like he's one of the really good guys that I enjoy talking to, and there's a lot of good guys I like, and there's a lot of guys that just can't stand me and think that I lie about everything, and they want to call me out on this and they want to say this, but you know what? We all lie, and when I've got caught lying on things that I've done here, I don't run and I'll be accountable for it. I'm going to show you something now. I don't know if I couldn't find this to put it in the. This is the NCIS, my police criminal record, which I want to be very transparent about. There's been a discrepancy for a long time with Rochi. Now, in 2001, I was arrested for domestic violence, which we all know what that charge is, right? But if you've ever been arrested for anything, you also know that domestic violence, usually in some cities, if they get called out to a house for domestic violence, some states will just take both people. They don't even investigate if someone hit somebody. If you're arguing and disturbing, and it's late at night, some police departments will take both people. Both of you put you away. But for years, they always favored the women because women are great liars, and they'll make up a lot of shit and cry and fake cry and do all that shit. And you know what I'm talking about because I'm sure it's happened to some of you people. And I'm not one to talk about anybody from my past. I don't do this, so I'm not gonna even say that. But I'm gonna show you. Rochi has been trying to sell this to you guys for 3 fucking years, and I always told him, Rochi, one day I'm just gonna slam you on this, like everything else I can. But I let them have their fun and let them have their little show, because if I wanted to shut them down and show they 100% lie and make up shit on me, I could do that. But what's the sense? Then I'm going to be hated by, you're an asshole, you did this. So you know what? But this one, I've had enough of him pushing this one. I really have. Let me see if this is the one. I got to look for the one that's for the year. What year is this one? This is my Chicago police record. Hang on. So we'll start there. And then I'll show you. I'm going to show you a couple. I don't know if you guys can see this. I'm going to put this up to the screen. So this is a criminal history. My arrest date 8/1/1989. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was in a 1972 Chevy Chevelle, all black interior. I was hired in a motherfucker. I was still on the sheriff's department, and I was weaving. It was about 3:30 in the morning. I came from my buddy's house in the Humble Park, and I was getting higher like a motherfucker. And I left there really high, and I took a half gram of cocaine that he gave me, and I had a little 25 automatic weapon that I carried in my pocket or my shoe, my boot. I wore boots a lot in my younger days. So I had the cocaine out in my seat, and the gun right there. I was waving. This patrolman in the 19th District Police Department pulled me over on Belmont Avenue, right before Ravenswood, the L tracks, and he sirened me and he told me to make a left on the Ravenswood, and I did. He came up to the car. I mean, he got up there pretty quick, and I was so fucked up. And he looked at me, he goes, "You fucking high or something?" I go, "Yeah, man." You know, he goes, and he right away looked in my window because I had my window down. He goes, "Is that a pistol?" And he pulled his gun out. And he said, "Get out of the car right now." I said, "Okay, no problem. Take it easy." I get out. He handcuffs me, finds it recovered at 25, and then he looks over and he sees the half gram. He goes, "Oh." Then he goes, takes my license, sees my name, and he immediately started grinning and smiling. And his exact words were to me, "Are you Joey Catalano's kid?" And he referred to my father as Jagoff Catalano. I said, "Are you talking about Junior or Senior?" Because Senior was my grandfather. Junior is my sperm donor. He says, "Oh my God, did I hit a fucking home run tonight? I got Jagoff's fucking kid." And he took me to the 19th District Police Department, paraded me around to everybody, all the brass. Look whose kid I got. Look whose kid I got. Look whose kid I got. Because he hated my father. My father used to be his partner, and my father was a bad cop, and he did a lot of bad things to people. And so I took a hell of a night with this cop, paraded me around, then threw me down into the lockup, and I went off. The county came and got me, and I went to my bond hearing, and I bonded out. And I got caught with possession of a controlled substance, which was a half a gram of coke. He tried to charge me because I didn't have because back in those days, I was only trained to carry my service revolver because I was a sheriff. You know, back then it was still not. They just started coming into the Glocks and the 9s, converting over right in the beginning of the 90s. So I was trained on a 357 and a 38 revolver, but I had a gun that I didn't put down that I had. So even police officers, whatever guns they carry, even off-duty gun, they have to list that. I didn't. This was a little throw gun I had. So he tried to hook me up with a UUW, which got thrown out right away. And you can see it right there. You can see the charge. Can you see that? Oh, I got to take off the green screen. Hang on. I'm sorry about that. Hang on. Let me take off the green screen. Virtual background. All right. There. All right. Here we go. Okay. All right. So if you guys can see, I got it upside down. No. Okay. So you see the top. This is the official. This is official records. These are official that the federal government had. Like only agencies can pull this stuff. And it came up my discovery. So you see the unlawful use of a weapon and possession of a controlled substance at 8/1/89. Okay, you see that, right? All right. Now, I bond myself out. 2 weeks after that, I got caught at work. Possession of Valium, a little less than a half gram of cocaine, while I was going to roll call. Someone dined me out. I know someone did, for a fact. So they immediately, supervisor came and sergeant took me to the captain's office, placed me under arrest, read me my rights, and told me to call the union shop steward, my representative for the union, which I did. And he immediately, they called the sheriff's department at the county building. We got the Daily Center, which is the city, and across the street was the city, half county. And they put their report in, and they called internal affairs. That was the procedure. They had to call my internal affairs to come out because I was arrested. And I was arrested for drugs and so internal affairs came out. I was in 88-2 academy, which was the second academy in the year of 88. So it was I started in February, finished academy in April. So I was just about a year and a half on. So I just got out of probation period. So I had no leg to stand on. Plus, I was going to be charged with drugs. I was going to lose my job anyhow. So I didn't have years and years where I could take a leave, the administrative leave, and they still get my pay. That wasn't going to happen. I knew that. I knew I would. So they came in, internal affairs, and they took me to another room, and they said, all right, well, here's the deal. You're just a year and a half in. You're just out of probation. This is the orders from the sheriff's department. You need to resign, or we're going to press charges as well. We're not how you handle it. You're going to resign now because we're not even going to allow you to use anything with the union because you're going to resign. You're going to be done with all that. You're on your own. So I immediately had to fill out a bunch of papers. I signed that I resigned, and they walked out. They asked me where my badge was, my revolver. I told them at the house, and that was it. They took my stuff. That was it, and I was on my own. So within 2 weeks, I got felony charge for unlawful use of a weapon. That was thrown out. I got the half gram of coke, and then 2 weeks later, I got caught with 3 tablets of Valium without a script. That's a felony. 3 little tablets that I forgot I had it in my little fucking pocket. You know that little pocket you got in your pants? I had them in there. I don't know how the fuck I got there. That's what happens when you get high. And some more cocaine. So here's the other thing that they come up with the charge. Back in they had a thing called when you get caught with gun and drugs in the 80s, the laws were so under the Reagan administration because of all the drugs that were coming in from Colombia. They made a lot of laws that were really stiff. I'm trying to think. My memory is bad because I just don't. When you get caught with a gun, it's not the unlawful use of a weapon was dropped, but they came up with the different charge. I can't remember now. I'm drawing a blank. I really am. Which carried mandatory. It was a Class X felony, which carried a mandatory 6 to 30 years in prison. There was no probation on it, so I had to beat that to stay out of prison. So going through court and going back and forth, I decided not to go to trial because I would have lost in trial. I would have got minimum 6 years up to 30 years. And the judge, Madden, did not like me. So I'm pretty sure he probably would have gave me 20 years for this little bit of bullshit that I went through. Because I know by the way he talked to me in court, how he called me a disgrace to the sheriff's department, and I was a scumbag in front of my mother while my mother was in court. And he kept going on and on and on and on and on. And I made a deal with the state. I'll take both possession charges if they dropped the other charges, so I'm out of the prison set. I'd be eligible for probation. So I got probation, and about a year into my probation, I had 5 years probation. I believe I had. No, I'm sorry, taking 4 years. I had 48 months. I was dirty, and I had probation that day, so I didn't show up for probation. So they put a warrant out for my arrest. So I lammed, and this is how you guys heard the other day. My alias, Joe Bruno. I had a lot of connections with the Department of Motor Vehicles in Illinois. And I had people that gave me an actual real license in my other name. And I just went into the counter, envelope. It looked like I had paperwork and taken a test, written test, and it was all done. And she gave me the name and she even gave me a social security number to that name. And I had a license for over 20 years, a dual license, one in my alias, a good, clean driver's license, and my real name. And I had a warrant for Catalano, so I got the license and I went to California. I went to live in Lake Tahoe, South Lake Tahoe, because my son was not born yet. He was getting to be born. He was due in November. So I went to the mountains, 6,250 feet in the air. That's what when he was born, that's what the T-shirt they said. You were born at elevation 6,250 feet. And I was on the run. My ex-father-in-law, who was a drunk piece of shit, called the Lake Tahoe Police Department on me after we were there about 9 months, and said I had his daughter and his grandkid kidnapped. And I was a wanted fugitive from Chicago, and my name was Joe Catalano. Thank God I never told them about the alias. So the doors get kicked in, and they guns on me, and a lot of chaos. And my son was freaking out, and this was 1991. Dominic was just born. Christopher was born in 85, so Christopher was 6 years old. And they asked him, who's that man right there? And that kid, because I trained him to not know, to forget about the Joe Catalano name, to know that because I was a stepfather. This was not my biological son. That I was Daddy Joe Bruno. And he told the police at 6 years old, they took him in the room with his mother. And they don't say nothing to your son. And he said, I don't know who that man is you're talking about. That's Joe Bruno, my stepfather. I gave him when I got out to California, I got a California. They even gave me a California drive. I changed in my Illinois for California license. They even thumbprinted me. Never caught it. Never caught it. And they kicked my doors and wrecked my fucking place. And they go, okay. And they go, we're sorry for the mistake. And they said, do you know why this person would call? And she said, well, who called? And they told her, that's my father. He's a drunken, no good piece of shit. And I don't have nothing to do with my father. And he was. And he died a very horrible death, and he deserved to die of a horrible death. So, and this motherfucker tried to get one. I got one up on him. So I had enough of the small town. I couldn't take it anymore, and I was still young. You know, I was still fighting addiction really bad. And I came back to Chicago, and I knew I was okay because I had the license. I got popped. No, this is what happened. This is how someone came over to my house and was ringing my doorbell. And I kept saying, who is it? Who is it? Who is it? They went. So I opened the door really aggressive, and this fucking guy labeled me out. He hit me so fucking hard right here in the fucking nose. And this guy was his name was Patrick. And he was an full Irish guy, an alcoholic that was a fucking strong motherfucker. When he hit me, he put me on the floor. He didn't knock me out, but he almost did. And I'm talking blood all over, broke my nose. Just as soon as I opened the door, he blasted me, man. And every time I got up 10 times in that fight. He knocked me down 10 times with a blow to the face. I was so messed up with bruises and eyes popped out, and for months it took me to recover. And I found out years later what really happened. Someone hired him to do that to me. I'm not going to get into it who did that, but he was paid to come and beat my ass. That was his mission. Found out some years later, he finally stopped being a drunk, and his whole family were called the police officers. He became a cop. I can't imagine running into him now today. And he's probably retired by now, but this was back in 91, 92. I left. My son was born in 91. I left, came back, and then so I went to the hospital, and somehow the confusion. They found out that I had a warrant for my arrest under my real name. I don't know how. I don't know what. It's something I had to do. I probably was fucked up and I gave the wrong ID or something. So they detained me. And remember, I was on the run for probation. So that's another thing. I got to really think everything through so I get all the facts out to you. I was on the run for probation. So if I got arrested, I was going to get no bond. There was no bond because I was technically a violation of probation. Technically. My lawyer that I had to, this is a lawyer I had to pay. I had to pay $10,000 to a lawyer to get me out of this. I sat 90 days in the county jail. 90 days. And because I was a sheriff and I was in Cook County Jail, I had to be put in protective custody because they knew that I was an ex-sheriff, most of the inmates. So they had to put me in protective custody. Locked down 23 hours a day, 1 hour out for shower and meal. That was it. And I was locked up with a Latin King leader. He was on protective custody too. And I'll never forget, my actual lieutenant sergeant I was assigned to that protective custody unit. So I knew everybody there. And I didn't want no special treatment. And some of the officers, my friends that I thought my friends, they weren't too nice to me. They treated me pretty bad. I deserved it. I don't care. But this Latin King guy asked me to draw. He knew that I was sheriff. And he goes, I'm not here. You ain't got to worry about it. I'm not making a move on you. Because I need a favor. Can you draw the compound for me? Have you been throughout this whole compound? I go, yeah, I know it backwards and forward. He goes, will you draw this for me? I got to get out of here. I got to get into the mainstream to get to my guys. And if I make them nervous, they'll take me out of here and get me out of at least protective custody. I don't want to be here, but they said there was a hit on me from the disciples, and I went back into the main with my guys, and they'll protect me. So I draw all this drawing. He goes, I'll give you the paper, I'll get you the pens. I draw everything detail for detail the compound. And he purposely was going to let them find him. He purposely left it where someone saw it, so they came and they did a shakedown. Well, 4 o'clock in the morning, they opened my cell, and the lieutenant sergeant said, Catalano, get up. Go out there. They shook my cell down. Where's all the stuff you did the drawings with? I go, what are you talking about? They go, you think we're stupid? You're the only one that would know the compound that detailed. I said, I don't know what you're talking about. You got any proof of that? You see me do that? I don't understand what I went right away. I said, are you accusing me of something? Or are you asking me if I did it? And it was Lieutenant Trocco was and I was really tight with my lieutenant. And I go, Lieutenant, are you asking me or you telling me that's what happened? He goes, come on, Joe. I'm not dumb. I said, I have no fucking idea what you're talking about. Can I go back to sleep now? Because unless you got solid evidence to tell me I did that, and you got me on film, right? And you got prints on paperwork or anything, I said, I don't think you should be even asking me that because I didn't do nothing. And I didn't. I told him that. And they never came back about it. I did it. Of course I did it. I did it because fuck them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, a lot of the police like to lie and steal and cheat.
So that's what happened there. So I'll be transparent there. So again, another thing I fucked up. I had a good job. I left baseball.
I didn't want to interrupt your story, Joey, but in the union that I work for, which I won't name, right. we would have probably got the person yourself a last chance agreement and put you in a drug program instead of firing you.
Well, I probably should have explored a lot of options. I think I made a lot of mistakes. I think I listened to the internal affair guys and the Chicago police officer. I was alone. They were just kind of really aggressive with me, and they shut me down because they wanted to sweep. I don't think they wanted this scandal to the sheriff. Hooked to the sheriff. Sheriff is a very political job in Cook County. When you're elected, you're very political, and he already had a big scandal going under him with the undersheriff, who got mob ties and was James Dvorak, sheriff undersheriff, was providing private security to mob events. Events that they were hosting, like the feast that they have different times of the year in Italian. He was providing the private security of sheriffs that were going to actually protect illegal gambling stuff, and it was big. He wound up going to prison, and the sheriff didn't win the next election because it was scandal so bad to him. And the sheriff was a good friend of my grandfather. That's how I got on the job. He was one of my grandfather's best friends. But he worked with my grandfather in the Chicago Police Department. But it was a mess, man. I made a mess out of that. But I always could self-sustain and had ways to take care of myself. I had people that did like me, that took care of me, and I was able to get another license, a legal, not a fake license. It was a real license. Just changed my name. You understand? I went from Catalano to Bruno, so that was my name, Joe Bruno. And Frankie, now that everybody knows that I was transparent about my alias. I mean, it's been exposed for the last 7 years. So I mean, it's nothing. I can't use it anymore because it's already exposed. Florida took away my license and could have pressed charges on me. They suspended they took away my license, my other license and my real name when it's against the law, definitely. So they took the Bruno license, they voided that out, and they took my Catalan license in the hearing I went to. They didn't press no criminal charge, but they go, we're going to suspend your license for a year. I go, I drive for a living. I have a taxi company. So don't you apply for a hardship license? So I go and apply for a hardship license. I go to the hearing, and this is another brilliant thing of me. I said, explain this rule, how this law works with the hardship. You could drive if you're in a work capacity, right? Yes. And so he goes, technically, let's say you're a construction worker, and it takes you an hour and a half to get to work. So we'll give you 2 hours each way to be in the car to go from home to work and back home. You understand? If you're outside that realm and you get caught, you're going to go to jail. Okay, so what about if you're working, you drive for a living? Well, what do you drive? 8 hours a day? So then you'll have the 2 hours, and you'll have 12 hours. Then you'll have a half a day that you could drive. I said, no, I own the company, and I handle the dispatch 24/7. I'm on call. And he looked at me. He goes, well, I guess as long as you're in the taxi cab working, so I never was that whole year I stayed in my taxi cab. I didn't drive my regular car because that's the only way I can legally drive. And I beat that. It didn't even faze me. And the hardship license was just my regular license. It wasn't even anything special. They gave me back my license and put under active hardship. So, and then when a year went by, they took the lift off. And it never affected me because I found the loophole and I got out of it.
Nice.
And that was, to me, that was a victory. That was a good win for me. I outsmarted all those people that made those great fucking those dumbass fucking stuff that they have. It just was dumb. And that's why I asked a lot of questions. Explain to me how this works. I'm understanding I could drive. As long as I get a hardship, as long as I'm driving in that work vehicle, I'm legal to drive, right? Yes, sir. Okay, then that's when I said, okay, well, I own the company. Here's my proof. Here's my ownership paper. Here's the taxi cab, my name. Here's all this, everything, business license, my EIN number, everything. Well, establish you are the owner of the company. Here's my dispatch number. Here's where the calls come to. Here's my logs. Here's how many calls I get through the night. Here's what I get during the day. So I'm going to be in that car 15, 18 hours a day. As long as I'm in this cab, I can't get in trouble, right? Yes. And that's what I did. So
Nice.
everywhere I went, even with the kids, if I went out, take them to the carnival, if I took them to the Disney, if I took them to the dinner, it was always in a cab because that's what that one I was legal. The minute I was in a car and not in working capacity, then they could arrest me and I could lose my license. So it didn't affect me. I beat the system. And that one, I think is okay. That was no big deal because I was doing it to work. I wasn't doing it to scam. I was doing it so I could stay driving, so I don't have to limit myself to my calls. You know what I'm saying? So I kept because I had a good business back then, and it's funny because I got a letter. I was in Omaha. I was the clubhouse manager in Omaha, Nebraska for the AAA Royals, and I got the letter saying my license was revoked and suspended, and I had a hearing. But I was in Omaha. I drove from Omaha on no license back to Florida. You talk about someone being nervous. I was fucking like this, man, for fucking that whole ride from Omaha to fucking Florida. When I crossed into Florida is when I got real nervous because Florida Highway Patrol, they're like fucking radars on your ass. You know, they pull everybody over. And so when I got home, it took me about fucking a week just to calm down. And then of course, the other thing I want to show you guys.
Very good.
Let's see. This one is. All right, so here's a summary total of my life since the time I first got in trouble to today. I've had a total of 4 felony charges in my whole entire life. It's right here. I'm going to show you. I've had 1 misdemeanor charge, 4 charges adjudicated withheld, and 1 without a disposition, and 1 not adjudicated. That's at the bottom here. That's everything. That's everything in my life to today. You understand? Now, I've had a few arrests. I had a lot of battery arrests that were never made it to court. That was dropped. I did a lot of fighting in Chicago, a lot of fight brawls I got into. But I got arrested, got out, $50 bond, and never went to court because nobody's going to show up in court on each other. You know, we get bar fights. We're not going to go to court on people. So those were dropped. I'm getting them all taken care of too. So now the big thing that Rochi has been promoting for the last 3 fucking years. Here it is. Domestic battery. Here it is, 2001. You see it? I'm finally going to put Rochi to bed on this one. I'm finally going to put him to bed on this one. Okay. And I'll post this. I'll put this up on so if you guys are having trouble seeing this or reading it, I'll put this in my community. And it clearly states here, dropped, final action taken. If you look right here, let's see. Final action taken. Oh, it's right here, right there where my finger is. Final action taken. What does it say? Can you read that?
We'll take your word for it, Joe. I don't think people can see it too good.
Yeah, I wish I could. Maybe I turn the light off. Maybe if I turn the light off, you can see it. Maybe that might be better. Oh yeah, much better. You can see dropped and abandoned. You see it?
They could probably zoom in some of the tech wizards.
Well, there it is. Dropped and abandoned right there. I know you can see it now. You can see it right there. Okay? I was arrested and it was dropped immediately because I didn't do nothing. I didn't batter no woman. You understand? It was all lies of someone making lies up on me because they were fucking the ones that were drunk and I was in the house feeding the kids and and I was doing the right thing before I went to work. So all built on lies. But he keeps pushing that I'm a woman beater. And this paper right here that he's held, he's got the same paper, except he won't tell you the truth, the outcome. Because it doesn't make sense for him to tell the truth about me. Because he has to tell lies on me. That's what him and the pineapple do. And you guys pay that guy for lies. Not real transparency.
You can't trust either of those people from England.
You understand that? This piece of paper I could have brought it out right away 3 years ago. I let him have his fun. So no matter what he says from today on, he's nothing but I've proven he is nothing but a fucking liar.
No one believes him anyways.
No, he sells a good game when it comes to me. The next time I got in trouble was 2013. This is where I met Juan. This is where I met Spider. I was working in his town with the Washington Nationals baseball team. And I had some letters come from the state's attorney's office in Florida that my mail was never forwarded to me like it was supposed to. It was held at home for another reason to burn me again, another thing to burn me on. And because I didn't respond to the 4 letters, I was issued 4 warrants for felony warrants. This is the other thing Roche sells. This is the 247 thing. The 247 that he sells, that he always puts out there. 247. This is just pertaining to this. I was charged with 4 counts of felony obtaining property in a return worthless check. 4 checks. 2 of them were for $500. They were my business account, and 2 of them were personal checks. Now, business accounts were most definitely. I proved it wasn't me because my signature didn't match. They did the 2. I admitted to the 2 personal checks because I did write those. I did cash those knowingly that they were bad. But I also told them I made a report that that one of the addicts that I'm around stole my. I kept it in the cab. They took my checks out of my business checks. You know, the big checks like that people write for business, and they cashed them and they forged my name. I still respond. I said, but I'll still take responsibility. I just want to make this go away. So I made a deal with them. I needed some time to pay it off, and I went every month to make a payment, and I went before the judge, and they gave me 10 months or something. Those 4 checks wind up costing me $3,000 or $4,000. It was a total of like 1,200 in checks. I think it cost me almost $4,000 with all the penalties and fines, and I had to pay a payment every month, a large payment. I worked day and night working in a cab. I paid it off. The deal was if I pay it off, the 4 felonies are reduced to one misdemeanor charge. And that's what the final disposition would be, that it wouldn't be, I was arrested as a felony, the warrants were felony, but if I paid everything back, and Roche goes through, that's how I know he's full of shit, because whatever, he's right, he ain't lying about the 247. I'm not saying, I guess I do owe $247, but that wasn't part of my restitution or order to be. So whatever came after the fact, after I gave all my receipts to the judge, and he cleared me, and he said the deal goes into effect, 4 felonies are going to be reduced to misdemeanors, and you can look me up in the Pinellas County and find the records. I didn't get those records. It shows that what the deal that was made. If I paid the stuff back, I wouldn't be convicted of the 4 felonies, and it was adjudicated with hell, which is another thing that it's supposed to be sealed. You understand? And the 4 felonies were reduced to 1 misdemeanor, and that's what I was charged. So, which is nothing when it's 13 years old, which I'm going to be exonerated from that. So the 2 things that I got in Florida, the only conviction was this, and then the thing that was dropped. That was it. And I've been in Florida 26 years. So I had a lie of a battery domestic, and checks that I was responsible for that I paid was reduced. So the governor of Florida, I put this attached to the stuff I'm mailing out tomorrow, will give me a full pardon. I should have a full pardon from Florida because Illinois, the hearing's in July. Once that's done, I have to wait to June 22nd. Let's see, I got out in of 28. I'm sorry, 27 before I can file for a pardon for federal, because you have to be out 5 years before the president of the United States can pardon you. And I should get a full pardon on that too, because I made a false statement to a federal agent. I got no horrendous crimes, and I want my rights restored so I can vote. And if I'm running for office, I should be able to vote for myself. You understand?
You deserve a full pardon.
I'm going to get one. There's no doubt in my mind I'm going to get it. But they just gave one to Darryl Strawberry. He just pardoned Darryl Strawberry for his crime when he was on probation for drugs. I just read you pull his list of everybody he's pardoned. He's been pardoning people every day. He's been doing a lot of pardons lately. A lot of felons. He helped a lot of felonies. A lot of people were felons. So I need Trump to give me that pardon too. And Christina has went on shows in her show and said that this is baby walk compared to what hers is. You know, when she was bad, and
everyone has something on their record.
More than anybody. And I got a great wife that's back in school. She's getting a new degree. She's a big part of my success of me getting healthy. And one thing I'll say is she's my best friend. She's my best friend and a woman that I love to death. And we got a good, solid foundation. And we both done a lot of wrong. But you know what? We also helped a lot of people. We're not them type of people that go after good people. I don't fuck with good people. Never did. That was never my forte. You know, me was fuck the bankers and fuck the insurance companies.
Yeah, so you guys know, I don't have a clean history too. I have 2 traffic violations on my record. Both were reduced to parking tickets. I think they both should have got thrown out, but still, the towns just want the money, and it's a corrupt system. So.
Is your town got those red traffic light signals, those red light tickets? Do you have that in your town?
Not yet. No.
Yeah.
They tried to do that, and the people went nuts, and they took them out.
Yeah, well, they took them out in Pasco County, but they got them back because they are illegal the way they're doing it because they're on a delay. The company, the third-party company that does those red light cameras, they've proven the fact that there's a delay. So they always favor the person writing the ticket in the favor. Well, the very first time I went to court for a red light camera, I went before. It wasn't a judge. It was what they call those guys. They're not full judges, but they're
right.
They have the power to make decisions in court. I forgot what they're called again. And he said, well, he goes, I'm prepared to say if you admit the guilt and I'll reduce the fine by half, you have to pay $99 and you can get rid of this and you go out. I go, no, I'm not paying nothing. I go, I want to take this. He goes, you want to take it to trial? He goes, what? I go, I want to talk to my accuser. I want to put my accuser on stand and talk to him. He looked at me. He looked at the lady, his secretary, and he looked at the fucking the court guy that's there and the court reporter, and he looked at me. He goes, you sir, are you okay? You realize your accuser is a camera, right? I go, that's right. In this country, I have a right to face my accuser. I have a 100% right to face my accuser. So I want to put that on stand right now. The guy thought I was nuts. He double talked and threw it out because he wasn't going to put up with none of that ridiculous nonsense. Because I told him that the whole system was corrupt anyhow, and I walked out of there with no ticket.
Nice.
So
they usually like to get some money out of you, though. That's really rare.
I didn't pay. I wasn't paying nothing because you know what? I knew. I did research. And it was proven that those companies, the third-party company, is a scam. They're scamming everybody in favor of the towns that have those cameras. The big racket. That's a big racket in Tampa. They got them all over the place now, and they're cleaning up. And that's another thing above them using their power and hurting the people. When you take an average American, middle class American, and you give him a speeding ticket that's $400 or $500 because he's speeding a little bit heavy foot. And he's barely making it to take care of his family, and you slap on that one. What are you doing? What message are you sending?
Yeah, there's gonna be a revolution.
You're putting people in the poorhouse. We're not helping people. This is what we have to fix. These are small problems we have to fix. But the biggest thing we got to fix is we got to make them live up to their office and be transparent and stop being corrupt. Stop taking money on the back end. Stop letting anything fly through Congress and the Senate because they're a powerful company, or they're a friend of yours, or a Fortune 500 company, or don't you feel it's odd in America here? The cable companies in most cities, you only got one cable company locked down in every city.
It's a monopoly for the billionaires to keep getting rich.
For how many years has cable been around? And they just started a second service in Tampa. Yeah, you got a choice of Frontier, but for years, one company had it locked down. Same with electric companies; they usually have it locked down because they got the money and the power, and they pay off to get that pass for them. That's not right. They're shutting people out to other companies, other people that might be able to save your energy. And I'm sure there's been many companies that had better ways to save energy for people, and they shot it down. And you know that they pad the electric bills and the water bills. They pad them. They do.
They put unnecessary tariffs on them and unnecessary.
It's horrible.
Right.
Cable company is my worst enemy. I hate them. I don't even think they should be allowed to charge anything because they rip you off. You get nothing. They charge you so much money for this packet that you get of all reruns. It's horrible. Right. It's horrible. I've disputed with them for every year that I've been able to, since I've been an adult to have cable. I can't stand them. I can't stand cable company. And if I got anything to do with it, we're going to fix that problem too. Because that's just highway robbery.
I agree with you 100%.
So from this moment on, I sign into office. Rochi is done with the 247 and me being a woman beater because he's lying. That's going off to the governor.
You can't trust Rochi.
So That's all. This guy has pressed me for 247. So what about the 247? What about the domestic violence? What about the you're a woman beater? No, I'm not, Rochi.
Well,
No.
we're going to be looking into his background in 2028.
Well,
so
it doesn't matter because he's not from this country, so he really don't have he should have an opinion about our country.
we could still tell the prime minister about his behavior.
That's right. One thing I learned about when you get into this political game, you have the ability to contact other politicians, as a kind of courtesy. So the more I get involved and the more I get deep into this election, I probably can reach out to the prime minister in his country.
Right.
Not wanting no special treatment, but maybe just to find out or let him be aware of what people are doing in his country to Americans and the internet. Maybe they're not allowed to do stuff like that in their country. Maybe they're breaking the law.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they have stricter on free speech. I don't think speech is free over there.
I don't think so either. So I'm just saying, this could go. Maybe it might go in my favor someday. Maybe he'll get in trouble for fucking lying and telling and terrorizing my name and tearing down my honor, what I have left of it. I'm rebuilding, and he's ripping it apart every time I climb up a ladder. He tries to take me down that ladder.
And we also have fake networks like the fake Catalano networks that we should be limiting their.
I mean, I got Jim from PR. I really liked him. I thought he was a nice guy, even though I really believe in his heart that he's a good troll. He's just a guy who likes to have fun and break balls. I really liked working with him, and I was hoping that we could have stayed there. But even him, he feels he has the right to use my name, and I don't think he has that right. But I let it go because I don't want to even bring up that can of worms no more. But he forgets I did have his channel down, and I gave it back to him. You understand? I gave it back to him when I got to take it down on a strike with my music. But I gave it back. I did the right thing. I showed him that this could happen, like I told him. So I slapped him on the wrist.
You were nice to him. This is how he repays you.
And I wish we could have worked it out, but now he's making all these videos, making videos of you. So finally, I got it in text the other day because I got really pissed off at something, and he says, "What? You're gonna get mad because I'm making a bunch of fake videos?" He put it in writing. I have it now. See, for our campaign, when they go and say, "Look at what these guys are," he wrote in the text, "I'm just having fun with fake stuff." That's it. He admits that everything about he's doing on us is fake. I got it in writing. I got it in writing.
I knew we couldn't trust those scum dogs.
I secured it. So I got him. He fell right hook, line, and sinker for that fucking
crumb bums over there.
He fell right into my little twirl, and he gave up what I wanted him to do.
They don't. I'm sure he's probably. I bet he probably lives in England too. One of those people.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I got nothing against the guy, and I wish him no harm, and I wish him the best of luck. But all he's got to do is just say, "I am a troll. I am been trolling you," and he won't do that, and that's what pisses me off. So
right,
but I'm not gonna. I got no ill will against the guy. I wish him nothing but the best. I really don't. Like I said, I'm not gonna tell his information. I'm not gonna do none of that. I keep my word to that, and I wish him nothing but the best. But at least I know that he admitted in text that what he said. That I was right. That you're making fake, false accusations against my vice president and me. The only thing he did that I enjoyed really watching was the actual court proceedings on my wife and I on the day that we went to change our plea. He used the exact transcripts that he got for the courts, and that was I like that because it made me out to be a good, not a liar, because I said I wasn't arrested for fraud. I was arrested for making a false statement, and that proved it. He just proved what I've been trying to tell people, that people were saying I was lying.
I wish these guys could be straight for more than 24 hours. Is what
I wish Shmuel Buckman would get off the horse that I lie about everything, and he's not a grifter, but I am. Here's a guy that is a fucking retard. You understand? Right. He thinks he can overpower me with his little fucking New York talk that he's right and I'm wrong, and he's so fucking full of shit. Because if he's so close to Shuli would tell him, "You're fucking 110% wrong about this guy."
Right.
Because he is. But I got a guy like Shmuel Buckman, you ain't got to worry about, because he's so high strung and he's such a whore for streaming. He's so hyped up on streaming that he's going to wind up probably checking out with a big heart attack the way he's going. You know what I'm saying?
And
he'll self-sustain himself by leaving us, because he'll overwork himself and be overzealous, and he'll suck all the dick he sucks when he goes to all these shows. Because he does. He swings hard on Carl and Shuli and all the be damn, especially Rocco, though. You should never see the guy suck harder than him when he's at these shows. And I've been at 2 shows with him. He's a fucking brown nose. He's got his nose up everybody's ass. And he knows it, and he knows I'm 100% fucking right. But he is a fucking mummy without fucking eyelids.
That's
true.
What he is. I agree. Yeah, it's been confirmed. A confirmed fact. And people like American Cupcake should be ashamed for jumping on me, talking all nonsense, lying and stealing, laughing and joking at my expense, saying untruths.
You know, and I get Cupcake to a point. Cupcake is a generally like a guy that just likes to break balls in his defense. But he does sometimes go too far. You'll never get him to admit that. But he has with me, and I went too far with him. We both have. He's just one to not admit that. His problem is he can't admit he's ever wrong. He always has to be right.
Right.
Where he's right a lot. I'm not saying he's not right how he presents stuff. But when he goes and he makes accusations about things about me that, how can you even say that? You couldn't even prove that to be wrong. But you say it anyhow.
I'll admit that I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect, but I love my country.
It's right. And people take advantage of me because they know that I got a relaxed brain and that that when I'm up a lot of hours and I have to really think hard to make sure that I'm saying everything 100%. Like I told a story a year ago and then retold the story a year later. The story matched, except I added stuff to it. Well, because I probably didn't remember some of the whole story when I was telling it the first time. I don't add nothing fake. I'm just adding to the story that really happened. And I know some of the stuff is far-fetched, that how I went through some of it. But I lived everything I said I did. The things I went through, I really did. Most people couldn't even stomach it, but I did. And I mean, I really did. And I like telling my life story. I like telling the stories of the things that I've done and all the. And I don't mind being accountable for my wrongs. That's the best way. And this is why we got together tonight. So Jim can get to know me really, really from the heart, how sincere I am about this and how much I'm really happy I picked him as a running mate. But I will be nothing but I'm the perfect candidate to run for president because of all my life experiences of what I went through. The trials and tribulations, it made me, you read my statement, it's made me a better person. It's made me grown to be accountable. It's made me to grow to want to be an honest person, to want to live by every rule and regulation. And that's big coming from a guy like me because I was always a guy that wanted to break rules. But I know that we all have to have rules around us at some point. Everybody needs someone to help them. You always need a push from somebody. Everybody needs somebody. Whether it's a little push or a little pep talk or just being a friend and just talking to you on the general problems and just telling you, assuring you, you could do this, you could get out of this, you could be all right. You just got to be righteous and you got to be transparent. So that's all that's a good friend. You don't go to your friends for money. That's not, you're not being a good friend when you ask your friends for money. But when you go to your friend and you say, listen, man, I'm feeling really down, man. I really need your ear for a minute. And that friend takes the time to listen to your ear and listen to you and gives you some constructive criticism, or comes after you when you're doing something wrong and he notices it and he tells you, you're being an idiot. You're being stupid here. That's a friend. I want a friend to do that to me. You understand? I want a friend to call me out and be a real friend, not phony and be in my face on the podcast and talk behind my back. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And motherfucking me everywhere else. Yeah, because you're just phony. And that's the problem with politics. They're all phony. Nothing's real. And our camp, and yes, I know we're 500 million to 1 odds of making it. But those odds are still beatable. It still could be done. With hard work, being 100% righteous, getting out and looking the people in the eye and showing them where the broken stuff is and showing them we're not just going to talk about it. We're going to make this happen. We're going to fix this. Here's another president, what he's got going on in this field. Look at all the failures. The prison reform has been very, very minimal what presidents have done. And I think there's about 6 presidents that have added to it each year. You understand? Over 4 years, every 4 years. Some of them go back pretty far. But they didn't do the right thing. They subtracted and added more chaos. You got to make it a Swiss timepiece. The Prison Reform Act is going to be my baby. That's what's going to make low recidivism and lower crime by 35% the first 4 years in office. Do you imagine a United States with running like a Swiss timepiece, 35% crime down consistently?
At least 35.
Consistently the first 4 years, and productive citizens coming out of this, and more taxpayers now, and our debt's going down because we made people good. We took people that were broken, we restored them, we gave them back their honor as a human being, we gave them back their humanity. They went to work and became honest people again. Because we all were born honest. We're all come out in this world honest. Then our paths are set. 2 years old, you're terrible twos. By the time you're 5 or 6 years old, and if you're a motherfucker kid, bad kid, your path is set. You could probably tell if a 6-year-old kid's going to be a juvenile delinquent. You probably can tell it by the time he's 6 or 7 years old. His path's already set. His ways are set, unless you break him of his habits. So if you don't, if he's on that path, you're going to guarantee he's going to be a juvenile delinquent and probably in prison by the time he's 18. You almost can see that pattern. You understand? And it's usually, they say, the first 4 years of a child's development of his brain is where you got to teach him the most honest stuff and the best lessons and how to act in this world. Because when he starts getting up to 5, 6, 7, and 8, it's a lot harder to him to understand. You know, it's a lot harder for him. If he chose the rocky road to be bad, you didn't do right by him his first 4 years and taught him the right way. You got a problem that you're going to develop, and you're going to run into a lot of roadblocks. Now, you know, and it happens. It happens mostly with kids that don't have fathers or in the house. You know, I got to say that kids are way better with both parents in the house. And then kids are much better if the mother raised them to a certain age and the father took them for his adolescent years and raised them, you know, going through high school and stuff and made him a man. You know what I'm saying? If you got a good dad that taught you to be a man from 13 on to 18 to when you leave the home, then those kids turn out to be okay. But most kids that come from a broken home are either gangbangers, drug addicts, drug dealers, in and out of jails, small crimes, bullshit crimes, con artists, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because they did all kinds of things to survive, to eat for themselves. If they only, you know, they didn't listen, they were unmanageable when they were a kid if they didn't have a father. You know, I know my mother, I laugh at my mother when she started hitting me when I was a certain age because it wasn't hurting me no more. She couldn't do nothing to me, you know. So, but I wanted to be good. I always wanted to be good because I had good grandparents. I come from good stock. My family history, a lot of good people in my family. My dad was rotten to the core, which they say the apple don't far fall from the tree. That's one of the most truest statements I ever heard in my life. The apple don't far fall from the tree. But I didn't want to be like him because he was a piece of shit. That father, he didn't. Now, he was my father, gave me life, so I loved him for that. But I didn't respect my father. I had no respect for him because he didn't. But my God, he's the first person I ever smoked crack with. You understand? What father goes and says, "Here, come on, let's party"? Of course, I'm going to do it because I wanted to get high. I was an addict. You understand? But can you think of it? I could never sit my kids down and do that. I couldn't do drugs with my kids. I could never do that. I could never do that. I couldn't live with myself doing that. Even if they were addicts, I'd tell them, go away. Don't look for anything over this way because I will not party with my children. And they know that. They know a couple of my kids that got into some things. That was done. Don't even ask. I do not sit in a room and party with my children. I know how bad it hurt me when my father did it to me because it broke me up. After I thought about it, how does piece of shit can sit here and feed me drugs? You know why addicts feed other people drugs?
What is that?
For their own personal gain. Especially if you got money. So they want to take down as many people as they can into the drug world because they have another connection of getting more drugs for themselves free. You understand? So they'll turn out family members to addicts because they know if you got money, you're going to always look out for them.
Oh, okay.
You follow me? It's a pattern.
Yeah.
Drug addicts will always keep a person down. When someone goes to rehab and they come out, let's say someone really pushes rehab, they go for 2 years, and they come out and they run into all their old crowd. You don't go up to them and say, "Come on, man, I got this rock. Let's go get high." You don't do that knowing he just got out of rehab. Right. You tell him, you need to go away from here. One of the things they teach you got to change people, places, and things. I love you, brother, but we all getting high. You need to go. You don't say, "Come on in, brother, let's get high." You're a piece of shit because you want to enable him again or her. You don't do that. You don't ruin somebody's sobriety. And most addicts will ruin somebody's sobriety. They don't give a shit.
I agree.
So we got to go through let's do some super tips. I think we got a super tip and then we'll do super chats. And we got one here. Let's see. Oh, we got two of them. Okay. So we got one from this one is a super text. I don't think it's one of the, you want to read that, Chad? $3 from George.
Yeah, it says, George, why not start small like city councilor or mayor?
George, great question. And the answer is I can't run for any local office of a state office until I'm exonerated and I'm fully pardoned. Felons cannot run for mayor, city council, alderman, anything, governor, anything like that. You cannot run in the state election. So I'm not eligible for that. I'm only eligible for 3 things: presidency, senator, and Congress. That's it. So now maybe that puts a little light on why you understand why. So why did I go for a senator? Because they're too much corruption in that office, and I don't want to be around those idiots. Congress, I'm just ready to be the head honcho and fix things. I want to be a fixer. I want to fix things and make people whole again. But that's why. Otherwise, I would have went for a city council. I would have went for an alderman or something like that. I would have definitely did that. But that's the reason why I can't. Until I'm fully pardoned, and how far we get in this election, if we get all the way and we don't make it, but let's say we get to the election, we're being voted for, but we don't make it. I'll have the experience now by the time this is over, I'll be fully pardoned and I'm going to run for an office in the city council or something like that. I will do that then, so it's going to not only give me the experience, and it's teaching me. I'm learning the amendments. I'm learning the Constitution again. I'm stuff that I should have learned years ago. I'm self-teaching myself. Cupcake gets on me all the time about the Constitution because he was a history major. That's what he specializes in. Of course, he's going to blow me away in that department. Even if I was a smart brainiac, he still beats me in that department. You understand? He was a history major. I think he was going to be a history teacher in life. I think that's what he was slated to be. So there's no way I could even come close to even think I could debate him because I'd be a fool to do that. That for a laugh, I'm gonna let them get the real laugh when he crushes me. I'm not. I've been laughed at enough. I'm trying to fix myself to be where people could say that, because the people that have meet me and that do know me in establishment will tell you I'm nothing like the person that's on that screen. I'm totally a different person. Even Rocco said, Catalano were wonderful in public. I didn't, he thought I was a wild animal. I was going to act like a wild animal, and he saw a side of me that well, he is calm. He is a good guy. He knows how to act in public. He knows how to eat with a fork. I do know how to eat with a fork. I know which one is a salad fork and which one is. I know how to cut my meat. Yeah, you guys are shocked. I can cut my meat. I don't just take the whole fucking thing and just shove it at the table. I don't go to a restaurant and eat like a monster. I know how to cut the meat. I know how to put the napkin. I know how to wipe my mouth. I know how to chew with my mouth closed. Are you shocked? Are you guys shocked? I mean, some of the things that have been said about me is ridiculous. But thank you for the $3, Jordan. I hope that answered your question. And we got a super tip here.
Yo, my knickers. With each campaign donation, Vice President Chad will give you a hand job.
Good job.
Only then will you see how hard my VP is willing to work. My knickers.
The great Brent Monkhouse. He always brings them in. I gotta love Brent Monkhouse. He brings winners when he brings super tips. He brings winners. He always kills it, knocks it out of the park. Thank you, Mr. Brent Monkhouse. I mean, see, I don't mind that kind of ribbing. That stuff is funny to me. That stuff is funny when they do jokes about me. Even it took me a long time to understand why Christina didn't get upset when they called her all the bad. She goes, "Cause am I that?" And I go, "No." She goes, "I don't give a fuck what they think." She goes, "I roll with it." And she, with everybody else, tell me you're too serious. This place, the devil is for you, man. You got too much thin skin, which I did. I've gotten thicker, but I got to say I battled with the best. I stood in there. I didn't run. I stood up to every person that ever trolled me, and I had some horrendous stuff done to me. But I'm still here. I get credit somewhere. I stand tall, and I've proven that I'm a warrior. So so that's another thing. I'm a warrior, a fighter. That's another reason why I should be in the office of being a president, because we're gonna fix things. We're gonna start at the roots. We're gonna rebuild. We have to start from the bottom, back in 1776. And we have to look at the vision, how it was supposed to meant to be, not the direction they took it, what it was supposed to do, how it was supposed to develop the right way. And we're going to reroute it, and we're going to fix it piece by piece without no roadblocks. We ain't going to there's not going to be no such thing as roadblocks or no. We're going to get things done because we're going to have that rapport with Congress and the Senate. They're going to want to do everything, fix everything, because after we get done with them, and that's brings me up to talk about real quick. Where's my little book? Here it's called Operation. Are you ready for this? Yep. Operation Rotten Apple.
Oh, okay. What's that?
Operation Rotten Apple and Operation Good Apple. I have the page here. Operation Powergate, U.S. Senate Classification Report. The good apples. All the good senators in the Senate. Got the green check for me, see?
Okay.
These are all the good eggs. These are all the ones you could trust in your state. Good people here. Alabama, Katie Britt, Tom Tumberville, good man, good woman. Alaska, Lisa Murkowski, Dan Sullivan, good senators. Arizona, the two are good there. Now we go to the bad list. The rotten apples, what I call them. Of course, Florida's number one. Rick Scott and Marco Rubio, two of the biggest crooks in politics. Top of the list. Kentucky, Mitch McConnell and Rand Paul, not good, rotten apples. Mississippi, Roger Wicker and Sidney Hyde-Smith. I've got reports on a lot of senators that have committed crimes in their commission of being a senator, of embezzling money and fraud and mail fraud. And one guy during the pandemic collected unemployment while he was being paid as a senator.
Wow.
How about that one?
But that's outrageous.
But the people are okay with that. As long as he knows the Constitution, we're voting him in. He can steal all he wants. But a guy that went from being somewhat of a bad guy, made some mistakes, who's being transparent and fixing his life for the good, wants to implement, take all my life experiences to fix things and help people. It's not even heard of. That I'm a laughing stock of the United States. But that's going to all change when they see me in 6 months. The notch when we go up, we're going to start getting a lot of levitation, and Twitter's going to be the ticket because I'm going to show you. That's what I'm real quick. I'm going to show you all my outlets. My Twitter page, I put some powerful tweets up, and I tag a lot of powerful people. I'm making traction every day. I'm making little bites of traction. When I get to where I'm really noticed, they're gonna be talking about me in the news. They're gonna talk about independent candidate because there's other independent candidates, a lot of independent candidates. A couple of them are big name candidates that haven't even emerged yet. So I got to get ahead of them. So I don't worry about the other independents. You understand? And we're gonna make noise. I'm a guy that likes to steer up and make noise. I like to be. I'm gonna get myself known. I got myself into this Dabbleverse and a lot of other things in my life. I'm gonna get myself into this politics, into their circle. They're gonna know who Joe Catalano is by the time August comes. Trump's gonna be uttering my name in the White House. I promise you that, because I'm not gonna stop till he does. J.D. Vance is gonna be scratching his head. What's this guy trying to run against me? And then all the stuff's gonna come out, but I'm gonna already be ahead of it because I'm de-weaponizing them now. And I'm going to do it little by little every day. And when they come after me, I'm going to go, I already got the people on my side, pal. I already talked about that. I already came to offer with all that. I'm doing everything right. Trust me when I tell you. This is the only way to do the campaign. There's no other way. I can't be a regular politician. I can't run it as a regular politician. I will get slapped in the face and fucking knocked out right away if I run it like a traditional politician. I cannot do that. It's not even an option. To sustain in this business, I have to be built on my life experiences. What I went through, my trials and tribulations, is what's going to appeal to the American people. When they're going to see they got a real person, not a fake one lying up there, not a traditional politician, a guy that is nothing about politics, but he cares about the America. And
what happened to Joey? Is Joey on? Are you guys still here? And like Joey said,
we have to slap some people on the wrist a little bit, and in a way that they have to be exposed with some information. That's okay too, because that's what they do. They just do it at a different, higher level. When they're in trouble, they do some weird shit. Plane crashes happen. People, a lot of stuff the government does that people don't want to believe that they do, but they do it to cover their own tracks. So we just got to be. We don't have to take nobody out. We don't want to hurt nobody. But we want to find the dirt on everybody. And let me tell you something. I know how to find dirt on people. I know how to get to I know how to make sure I get the right dirt on these people. And we'll document that. And we're gonna get someone we can trust that's in the field of being a reporter. Someone we're gonna give the stories to. And we're gonna take one of them down one by one. And I'm coming for them. And I go out every day and I tell them I'm coming for them. So if they want to fight now, we can start now. But they're going to get a good race from me. I'm declaring I'm not only a registered candidate. I'm going to get on that ballot. I'm going to beat them in the White House. J.D. Vance, you got a lot of trouble coming your way because I'm going to make a lot of noise. I promise you that. I'm Joseph Samuel Catalano, and I approve this message. And I'm going to get better and better and better at this because I like to talk, and I can look people in the eye, square in the eye, and they'll see the truth in my eyes because I'm going to fix this country with my Vice President, James Sardina.
That's right.
2028, we're going to get reelected in 32, and we're going to make history. We're going to change. The world is changing anyhow in a rapid spiral. AI is going crazy through the roof. We're going to be living in space. People are going to be having it's going to be all space malls and space hotels. This Elon Musk guy is a very powerful, very smart man. He's got so many things he's going to be doing. It's all going to come true. Everything's going to come true. Trust me. AI is going to be, and if we let the government weaponize AI, then we're in trouble. We got to protect AI now. We have to protect it. We have to build something foundation so AI is not used to weaponize against the people. And they will use it as a weapon. They will use AI as a weapon if they can to hurt the American people. Anything they can get the advantage of keeping the American people down, they will, if we allow it. People don't realize we're strength is in many people is our strength. We overpower everything if we stick together, the whole country. And we believe and fight for the one thing, to make this a whole country and make this a safe country and make this safe for our children and educate our children. Education is going to be a big thing. Education, prison reform, healthcare, and AI is going to be the four main things we got to fix. We got to fix these problems. We got to stop wasting money with foreign countries. We got to take that money and put it in good places. And of course, I'm going to surround myself with a cabinet of people that are honest, but are experienced in these fields. Financial people that are going to look at the things, and when I point out this point, and they're going to get. No president does that by himself anyhow. He's got a team that does everything for him anyhow. It's that you're all on the same page, that we are 100% transparent here. 100% transparent. There's no cutting corners. We don't lie. We don't cut corners. We fix problems. And we hire the team of the smartest people in the world to be our accountants, our lawyers, our cabinet, and let these people understand that they got to fix these departments. And we back them, and we push it through, and we get Congress and Senate on our side, and we get everything changed the right way. It can be done. It's not far-fetched when I'm talking here. It's not. So don't come to me no more about what's the 25th Amendment. Who cares at this point? Let's care about surviving to build this country for you, a safe place for your children and your grandchildren, and make America whole again. And not have to worry about, did I vote the wrong guy? Did I vote the wrong guy in? Is it true that senator got popped? Look at all the scandals that are going on. Where's all the money going? Why are they spending so much money? Why they charge us more tax? It's ridiculous. Rents are 5 times what they should be, and they're getting away with it.
That's right. They should be regulated.
There's just no regulation. They can charge whatever they want, and they try to justify when you talk to them. How can you justify $4,000 for that small house a month? How can you justify that? Show me where you could justify. Who's going to give you $4,000 a month? How many people can actually pay that? You understand what I'm saying?
Even prices on food and all the gasoline, everything should be regulated.
Everything needs to be regulated. Everything. They charge taxes for everything. You need to cut the corner. You don't need all that gas tax on there. Gasoline only costs like about 80 cents a gallon, and there's about $3-4 worth of taxes on in some states.
The max gasoline should cost us $1.50 a gallon.
That's what I said. That was my figure. That's funny because we never talked about that. That's my figure. Gasoline should be $1.50 across the board. And they still make a huge profit.
That's right. Comes free from the ground.
They're greedy. They're greedy. That's what greed is. What overpowers us. Greed is what overpowers. Greed and people being selfish for themselves. You know, you got to have compassion. You got to have empathy. You got to show people empathy. You got to care about the people that are poor. You have to. They're human beings. You can't just say, fuck those neighborhoods. Let them die. They're animals. You can't go around doing that as a rich politician.
They only like
you can't introduce crack into the neighborhoods that backfired on your ass, and they took that crack to the rich suburbs and got all your kids on dud crack. That's what they did. You tried to think that the neighborhood was dumb, and you said we got them. We're going to depopulate them. We got the plan. We're introducing crack in the 80s.
They put the crack in the neighborhoods. And
what did the crack dealer? What do all the smart crack dealers do? The dum-dums that they said were uneducated. Okay, motherfucker, we got you. We go out to the suburbs and we're going to get all your kids hooked on it. And get all your wife while you're at work. I'm gonna have your wife sucking dick, and that's what they did. That's the truth. They finally came out and admitted it, that it backfired miserably.
They probably spread the AIDS too in the 80s.
I guarantee you, they probably did the coronavirus too. I'm
Yep.
sure it's going to come out. Look at for years about John F. Kennedy's assassination. I could have told you who did it. I could tell you exactly how it was. I could tell you the 4 people that were involved in that hit. That I knew 20 years ago. They finally released it. Okay? His father is the one that got him killed. He double-crossed the mob, and they were pissed. And Carlos Machella of New Orleans, Santo Trafficante, Sam Giancana are the 3 players that orchestrated that hit.
Wow, I didn't know that.
That's a fact. Look at the files that they released. They'll tell you what happened. They personally went to the mob. They went to Giancana and Trafficante to go over to Cuba when Castro first took over. When he went over there and took over all the casinos from them and kicked Meyer Lansky out and all them. Santo Trafficante spent time in that jail over there. It took a long time to get him back over here. But they went to them. Let me tell you, the CIA are not nice people. CIA are trained killers. They got one thing to do: protect. They're under orders by one person, and that's what their tactic is. When they got to go kill, they go kill. It don't matter who they're killing. The orders are orders. So they do a lot of unnecessary stuff.
Yeah, they're above the law.
They are above the law. They are. They really have that. Just like ICE is above the law.
Yep.
This ICE problem, they're way out of control.
They are way out.
Because you gave them too much power without the right training. And I have the right to say this, whether you believe it's dumb or not, because I see what I see, and when I know what I know, and I know how they think. Because I've been on both sides of the fence. I had family members on both sides of the fence. I know what prison's like, and I know that they lie. They don't give you no fucking reform. There's no reform. They could give a rat's ass. They just hope you're going to come back and fill it because they get paid big money for every time you were sitting in prison. It's the United States government number 2 most effective money coming in is the prison system, the federal prison,
right?
Where we get most of our income from. Go look it up and see how much money they take in a year from.
Yep,
from
the people in the White House have backdoor deals with people about the drugs too.
But they don't want to make a productive country. They don't want to have people all being honest and taxpayers and help people that went down the wrong path. Not everybody's bad just because they go to prison and go to jail. There's a lot of good people in jail that got, like I said, got in a simple car accident. Doctors strung them out on drugs, took them off, and they left them hanging. And they lost everything from the accident. They lost their jobs. They lost their houses. Right. They got nothing to lose. So they go to the streets and they go out and they start buying pills for $50, $60, $80 a pop that the doctor was giving them for under insurance. Doctor just cuts them cold because the doctor don't want to get in trouble from the DEA after he already broke the law writing you prescription drugs he shouldn't have wrote you. And then they wonder why they go to jail for script writing. I was locked up with 4 doctors, four doctors that were doctors for over 50 years. He was 78 years old, the oldest guy there. He was a doctor for 50 years in Fort Myers, to the rich and elite in Fort Myers. And he looked like a little mad scientist. He was a skinny little guy, and he was always cold. And he would always ask someone for an extra piece of clothes, a shirt, and he wore 4 or 5 shirts, and he would only eat vegetables. He'd come from room to room, cell to cell, to try to get everybody's vegetables. And everybody would throw their vegetables in. This guy had his cell was so dirty and bugs in there because he kept all the vegetables stacked in the styrofoam cups and he would eat them every day. That's all he ate. He was skinny like a rail, and he was a doctor for 50 years. This is a millionaire doctor, and he looked like a fucking ragamuffin by the time he got to federal prison. They gave him 7 years for script writing to the elite, to the rich people. Feds went in and tore his ass apart, shredded him. He said they that's right. When you get in trouble with the federal government, they don't just go and they don't just put you in jail. They strip you of your dignity. They want to take you away from your family. That's the first thing they tell you. We're going to make you where your family leaves you. We're going to leave you with nothing. That's their promise to you. I will take your wife away from you. I'll take your kids to hate you. I will take everything you got and make you fucking worth nothing. That's how they really talk to you. But then the judge that sentenced you, he was in a scandal a week after he sentenced you. I'm not saying I'm just saying the example. So the judge is in a scandal with a prostitute in a fucking hotel, cheating on his wife and his kid.
Yeah, the judge.
He's just the guy making, and he's getting high, smoking weed in the fucking hotel. You understand? These are the people that they're letting making decisions that we.
And the judges are making the rock star income too.
Exactly. Plus, who knows what kind of kickback and briberies they take. So there's corruption at every level. I would say the percentage of corruption between the Senate, the judges, the Congress, all the politicians, all the state, city offices, I bet you corruption is I bet you it's higher than we have good people. It probably at one point it was probably 30%. I bet you it's 60% of the people in all public office are corrupt.
I'd say it's about accurate. Yeah, for sure. At least
that's a high number.
And they all cover for each other.
They all do. They take these political jobs. They become better liars because they have to be. When you can see if you know how to read people when they're doing a speech, when someone's giving a speech on TV, you could see the ticks of their lying. You could catch them lying right there. You know they're lying because they all have a tail. You catch their tail, or you're done. They all have a tail. They all give up their tail if they're not good liars. You just got to study them. But I come from a place that corruption was needed. You got things by having money. You wanted judges. You wanted people out of court. You want people to get out of murder cases. Pay the judge. I seen this firsthand happen. I seen someone pay judge $20,000 and he never got indicted for trial for anything. You understand? It was not. Didn't go past the grand jury because you got fucking money. Whoa.
Money talks and whatnot walks.
Money talks in this world is right. Money talks, bullshit walks. Some people got a lot of money. There's some people that are so rich they could take care of 1 million people for a lifetime and still never run out of money.
Just like in the Civil War, where if you paid $300, you could not go to war, and the poor people went to war.
Do you know these sad son of a bitches accused me of riding my grandfather's coattail, being a war hero as my campaign? All I said was I was honoring my grandfather, was a good man, and he was a war hero. I never put my grandfather out there to sell him to my campaign. It made me sick when I was reading these comments that they were putting on my page.
Yeah, some of these people, I can't say.
I can't fucking believe they got the gall to fucking do that.
Right.
Are they really confessing that that's how they are? I just was honoring my grandfather, that my grandfather was a war hero. He was a good man. And he died at a very young age. And I missed my grandfather. Both my grandfathers have been gone many years. But he was a good man. And I wanted to share his story. I don't use his name. First of all, he was Bruno. I'm Joseph Samuel Catalano III. They go and say I didn't file. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll lie because I did file as Joseph Samuel Catalano in the federal election, because I'll show you the filing papers right here. And so that's another thing I wanted to disprove. This is what people don't understand, because that's the other thing we're going to fix. There are going to be some laws changes in this fucking in how people are allowed to go in these chat rooms and how they're not allowed to just blatantly lie on people. There's going to be consequences. There has to be consequences.
We have to.
They go too far. We have to shut them down. And I know that balls deep in what they did to me, so I'm the perfect guy to fucking design this. Because there are people that are definitely that should be hung at the fucking stake for what they do to people.
Right.
That's the truth. I'm
Can't give an inch. If you give an inch, they take 10 miles.
That's right. They go on and on and on with nothing but lies. They think they're funny and they think they're cute. That's bullshit. You want to talk about me? I don't care who makes fun of me. I never cared about that. Tell everything you want. Critique. Go laugh at all my story, but don't add anything that's a lie, because then I'm going to come after you with a problem. We're going to have a problem.
That's right. There has to be consequences for lying.
You got to have consequences. So we're going to make sure that we're going to have some streaming laws. We're going to have the Streaming Protective Act laws that's going to protect people, the streamers. We're going to protect all the content creators. I'm going to have a bill for the content creators that's going to protect them from the people that do this to them. There's going to be penalties. You're going to start going to get arrested and go to jail.
I agree.
And they need to be. The ones that are doing it rotten and do the core and doing it above and beyond. They need to be put in jail.
Right. I agree.
It's a fact. I'm sorry to say that. It's a fact. There's 30 people right now in the chat room going, is he nuts? He's going to lock people up for fucking making fun of him? That's not what I said. So don't misconstrue my words. I said anybody goes above and beyond to personally go after your families and talk about your children, or come to your house and fucking do shit in your neighborhood. The people that are fucking richly puked that want to really hurt you, take your channel from you with lies. Those are the people. There's going to be some. We need to get a fucking streamers protection law. We're going to have that act. I think I got one written, but I put it all together. I'm trying. What am I looking for? What was I looking for again? My dinner's cold. I got to get my dinner. My dinner's cold. Look at
that. Yeah. I got
What
popcorn.
did I say? I wanted to show these guys just now. I get into my zone, man. I get in my zone when I start talking. I can't.
That's all right.
I forgot what I was going to show anyhow. Whatever. But I got it, one of my books here. But anyhow, let's go to the super chats, because we're coming on. We're already past 2 hours, man. We're already past 2 hours. I really got to go. But let's go through this. And I just wanted to just show people that why I feel like, give you reasons why I think I'll make a good candidate. And I got a lot of work ahead. Don't think I think it's going to be handed to me. By any means do I think this is going to be handed. I got to work for it. I got to push for this. I got to work hard for this. And I'm willing to put the work in. All the losers are streaming tonight? Yeah, I know, Josh from Jersey. Yeah. Thank you for your vote, though. I appreciate that. Yep. You one of those trolls that go to the extra mile and don't care what you talk about? And is that why you're saying that? Because I like to know your point of views of why you think I'm wrong about the people that are wretched puke trolls that come after you in the ways that they are way beyond just ball busting. I want to know your views on that one. Right. Please tell me. I'll be glad to share all your stuff right now. Tell me where I'm wrong about some of the people that troll that are really evil and they want to hurt you. Tell me that they don't deserve to be consequences for them. Please explain to my audience and me how you feel it's okay.
We are waiting, Josh.
I'm waiting for your answer. Because obviously you're probably one of those people that think it's okay to get away with it. But here's the coming. The laws are going to change, and we're going to come after people like you. And you're going to go do time. It's not going to be probational. You're going to go do time. First offense.
That's why we have prison.
You're going to learn not to demoralize somebody and push somebody to suicide or push someone to fight and get themselves in trouble. We're going to fix that problem. You're going to have good, clean ball busting and to do it right, the way it should be. Not what all over the top like some of these people do. I'm very serious about that. And you want to challenge me on that, even if I don't get in office, I'm going to take it to the hill with the state. I'm going to go when they talk about this shit. I'm going to be up there. I'm going to be up there fighting for it because it needs to be done. Because I know what the fuck they done to me. So you can explain to my audience why it's okay. I'm willing to listen. Until then, opinions are like assholes, and everybody has one.
We're waiting.
So I'll be waiting on your rebuttal. This ain't the Joey C from 3 years ago, where people could just come in and say what they want. Okay. Right. The dumb guy, I had to bring back, let him go a little bit, and I had to, start making what I meant to do. You understand? I want to know anybody that went into steamrolling the Daviverse better, harder than I did, the way I did it, and made success with all the top shows. There's nobody else that's done it but me. And got the respect from all the top shows and got on every show. A lot of them. This is the home of the $2 super chats coming on. Asa Horny, $2. Apologize to Kuna Nui. You owe him that. I got no beef with Kuna. He says something. It's a two-way street. But I made an announcement. I like Kuna. Kuna's liked by Spider and my wife. They think the world of him, and he thinks the world of them. I got no beef with Kuna. I just wish he'd be a little bit more jaded with how he attacks me. I did him wrong. I fired him twice on live air, so I kind of bent his spirit a little bit. For that, he knows I know. I used to have deep conversations with Kuna. We used to talk every day. We had some good. Kuna is not a bad person, and I think he's going through some health issues, and I wish him nothing but the best. Him and his family. I hope whatever he's going through that he recovers from it. He took some time off because I think he's got some health issues. I pray to God for him. I got no beef with Kahuna. I would be glad to shake his hand and apologize to him. So that's no problem, Iso Horny. I will do that because it's the right thing to do. I don't hate the man. I just wish he would not be so difficult on some of the things he says about me when he knows he's fucking lying about it. Everything he shoots everything down I do, whether it's good or bad. And then, you know what? He's got to give me a little leeway too. I'm not saying I'm perfect, and I owe him an apology. I agree, but he's got to give me a little bit too. Mufastafa Mufasto HHJ3 $1.99. Thank you for the boring arrest story. Hey, what can I tell you? I'm tired of somebody going to thinking he's got one up on me and he can keep going around with the lie. Okay, I wanted to just put that to bed. I don't whip women. I don't hit on women. I don't. Okay, I just don't. Right. Women are better liars than men, and they lie more than men. Trust me on that. Mike V is, I believe, a very good friend to the vice president that's running for vice president.
That's true.
We love Clearwater Chad. I love Clearwater Chad too. I believe it or not, I believe I was the first. He went on a show, and I was the first one to introduce him deep into the Dabbler. Remember that when I had him on my show?
That's true.
I'm the guy that really just found him. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So, and then we, you seen me on what was it, Pineapple and Luigi, and then
You were on some show.
Yep. And then we worked together for a year, and then you left, and then you came back, and then we're working together again.
Yep. And we've always been, never have we had one dispute or argument or anything. He's always been a gentleman. I've been a gentleman back. I have respect for him. He's always been cool with me, and we get along very well. And it's just we're like the Oreo cookie and the cream in the middle. You understand? We go together like honey and what goes with honey? Honey and what's a good thing to go put honey on? Huh?
Crackers?
Honey's and crackers, or cheese and crackers. We're like cheese and crackers.
Yeah.
That's how we are, you know. We love him too, and I'm not lying about it. I know you're not, Mike V. I know. I heard all about you, Mike V. We know you're a good man. Here's another one I think from Mike V. And this is a $4.99. Says, say Mike V. We love Clearwater Chad. You guys have my vote, and I'm not lying about that. I believe you, Mike V. And you know what, Mike? If you really want to help us, maybe get involved with the campaign and help us get these signatures wherever you live at. You know, just reach out to Chad, and Chad will come reach out to me, and we'll get the right forms to you. And all you got to do is get signatures the way they want it. You got to just follow your state policy. You know, I can't pay nobody, because if I pay someone to go out and get signatures, that means I'm buying the election. I can't do that. That's against election. So you have to really want to volunteer to go out and get signatures for us. And there's a lot of people we know out throughout the United States that can do this. Even if every person got me 500 signatures, it's 500 more that I wouldn't have. And somebody could get some people get 500 signatures in an hour if they know the right places to go.
We can't have any names like Pete Moss or Pink Daddy.
They got to be legitimate registered voters.
Right.
They go through that like a fine-tuned culture. They kick out all the bad ones. And then you got to make sure, you got to be able to say, are you legal? Are you okay to vote? I mean, because some people might have been voters, but then they lost their privilege and they don't want to tell you. So they sign up just to sign up, and then it does you no good, because when it gets to the election board and they run it, this is no good. And you don't want to take a bunch of dead votes, because then it's like starting at the bottom of the barrel again. We want to get it right the first time.
Right.
But thank you, Mike V. Please join us. I want everybody to join us. Okay, we got another one. This is from Mike V as well. $4.99. Right. Just, I don't know if this might be coming from your channel. Is it coming from your channel?
I think he did on mine. Yep.
Yeah, because they'll come here. So these might not be this might be part of your channel, because I know that's your guy. So these are probably yours coming through the feed from your channel. I bet you that's what they are. Mike V 499 just was able to tune in. No one is trained in firearms and lies about it. We have to prove Clearwater Chad supports the. Yes, listen to me. Chad is a great guy. He's a guy that appreciates humor. He likes laughter, and he likes to have to joke. He does a lot of great stuff. Okay, and he's a good, wholesome guy. I know this by the short time I've known him. The very first time, it's how he carries himself and how he is a man's man. And he sits down and he talks to you. He don't talk at you. He's kind and respectful when he comes on your show. You could trust him with the keys to the studio. You could trust Clearwater Chad with the keys to the studio. He's a guy like my friend Kai Procaccio, who I trusted with the keys to the studio, because Kai Procaccio is an honest man. You understand? So I trust him with Catalano TV for a long time, and he is my friend, and I would do it over. And Chad falls in that category. I could walk away from Catalano TV and go away from it and leave him the keys, and my channel will be okay. You understand? So we know Clearwater Chad's a good man. Thank you, Mike V.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we got this one here from Student Wet Brain. Thank you for the $2. I'm going to pull a Uzi here. Do you realize how dumb you sound? I don't sound dumb. To you, I sound dumb because you believe in all that bureaucratic bullshit that they're fed by the politicians every day. You're lost in their world. You don't think change could happen. You don't think people like us can do it because they got money and power.
That's right.
You don't play ball with them. You fight the money and power. You stay on. Let me tell you, one thing they hate a thorn in their side. Anybody that's going to stay on their ass like I'm going to stay on them like a fucking pit bull. I'm going to make noise. They're going to want to fucking hate on me. They're going to hate on me, and they might even take a whack at me. Who knows? But I'm going to fight them every way and shut them down, and I'm going to expose them for everything I find on them. I'm going to
better the country for them too, the haters.
And you're going to see. You just don't see my vision. But when you see the tables turn, I guarantee you jump in our camp. When you see 6 months now, Jesus Christ, he's making track. He's going to make the ballot. You're going to start thinking differently. Maybe this guy does. I'm not full of shit. Maybe my methods are not up to par with you. But my methods are the only way to win this election is how I have to do it. And that's being my life experiences and how I could fix things and help people. The more people I could tap into that could see in my eyes the honesty of a guy that lived hard life and struggled like them, all the people that have had problems with money and low income and the system burned them. And you appeal to those people. They're voters too. You got to forget they're voters too. There's a lot of poor people that are voters. And they're forgotten. They don't vote because you don't want to know why. They know nothing's going to be done for them. So they don't even go to the polls anymore. That's why when you see politicians out there, they don't even appeal to the bad neighborhoods. They go right to the rich and help the last half of the middle class. But there's a half that they're leaving behind of a lot of voters. And I'll promise you this, I'll get all the black votes. I'm going to get all the black votes. I'll get every person that's ever been in prison that's got their rights restored. I promise you that.
Right.
So they're going to, that's a lot of people. Trust me, I'm going to get all Major League Baseball. I'm going to get them to endorse me. You watch and see that happen. That will happen. As soon as I start going out to the ballparks in spring training as a presidential candidate. As soon as I get my clearance, it'll be coming soon. I might be throwing out some first pitches in spring training as a presidential candidate. Went from zero to hero, from clubhouse washing underwear to running for the president of the United States. That's a story that will be ate up by every fucking news outlet in the world.
That shows you can do anything you want in America.
That shows you that America's the greatest country in the world. And America, you can become wealthy. You can become whole. You can become righteous. Land of the free. Our laundry boy, Bat Boy, is running for president of the United States. Unheard of. That goes to show you my street knowledge has done me well. Now I got to educate myself with the book part so I know the country's laws and the country's. But I'm going to be very, very truthful, and I'm going to attack in a way that I'm not going to do nothing behind their back or set nobody up. I'm going to attack them right in their face with their bad, with everything they do bad, and I'm going to expose them. And if they don't like it, then that's too bad. They better resign then, because once Joe Catalano gets in, they're going to have a fight for the next 4 years. Right. They ain't going to like me. I don't go away. I'm like a fucking bee. I stay and buzz around and keep biting. They can't make me go away. It's my right as an American to speak my piece.
We'll be on them like a rash.
I'm gonna be like a bad rash. J.D. Vance don't even know the headaches he's gonna be getting starting into August and September that are gonna be coming, because he's gonna fucking worry about this underdog that's fucking a nobody, who's a fucking felon, who's a fucking not even educated, is the guy giving him the grief to hurt his campaign. That's what the reality is. That's what America stands for. That's right. The dream. And you're going to switch. 6 months from now, I'm going to have you in my camp. I promise you. 6 months from now. Mark that down. This guy will be in our camp 6 months from now.
That's right.
All right. Did we read this one? Let's read this one. Okay. I don't think we read this one. This is, what happened to it? Did we read this one? No, we didn't.
So.
Power lies to paralyze. I like that. Power lies to paralyze. That's a pretty catchy name, don't you think?
Yeah.
If Iran dilutes its nuclear program, would you respond by offering to hug it out, or would you rock, paper, scissors them into the Stone Age? Well, first of all, the first and most important thing is no one's going to come into our country and hurt us. No one's going to have to worry about being threatened by any country that wants to do this to us. So let's put it this way. If they get serious to do stuff like this to us, I bet assure that I'm going to be very serious back in a way that our military will respond the proper way. So I will not put up with nobody hurting this country.
If they try it, they're going to be reduced to ashes and darkness.
We'll take the necessary steps to put them in the Stone Age. No one will come here and take our country from us. We're not going to get weak. We're not showing no more weakness to them. That's the other thing. We let every time we do something for our country, we weakens our position. They laugh at us. We give these loans and they never pay it back. They help these countries. They don't pay nothing back. You understand? We weaken ourselves because they know how easy it is to get money from us. And they laugh. The government, when they get that money in their bank account, not one of that money goes to any other people in their country. It goes right into the government's pocket.
Goes to the fat cats, yep.
Right there. It goes right to all the Patels in their country, all the other, what's the other guy? The guy that runs the North Korea, his family. It's where it all goes. The pockets of all the people that want to terrorize the United States. They want to hurt us. That's that gets all that money. I mean, look at what we did in the 80s. We trained on U.S. soil. We gave them guns, and we trained soldiers from other countries that were bringing cocaine into this country.
That's right.
You know we did that? You know that's not, so if I'm dumb, I guess when they put crack into the crack neighborhoods, I guess they weren't dumb. That was a brilliant idea that backfired on them. Everything they've done that they do when they panic fails. And then they lie about it for years until they have to tell the truth.
That's what they do, yep.
Nobody's perfect. I'm definitely not perfect. But I can run this country just as good as you or anybody else. I know how to delegate authority, and I know how to look into things and see what's broken, and I know what needs to fix them. And you don't take no for an answer. You get it done. You make the people know that they are 100% safe. Their children are safe. No one's going to come across that border when I get in. I promise you. It's going to end. This ends. Those drug lords, I hope you're watching today. Remember my face. When I become president, I'm coming. You come over here, you're going home in the bag. That's where you're going. That's right. I promise you that. I promise this country that. We're going to rid of all the scum. We're going to rid of all the fentanyl. We're going to rid of everybody that comes to try to hurt us, who steals our kids, kidnaps our kids and sells them. Okay? We're going to crack all that. And you know how you do that? By being hard and fight and never give up. They knock you down, you get back up. I'm talking all the right language what the American country wants. There's just nobody's been ballsy enough to go in and do it because they like money too much. I got no price tag on me for anything to sell out this country or the American people.
That's right.
I don't care if someone comes at me with $100 million. I say no. I'd rather be poor and fix the country, and that's how I'll die poor. I don't want to take no bad money. I don't want to steal no money that is given to people donate to help people, or they want to build hospitals, and they want to build shrines for people, and they want to build communities for people. No, I don't have to skim none of that. I don't want nothing. If anybody approaches me to try to bribe me, I'm going to have them arrested. Plain and simple. You talk about a guy that wanted to be, there's a guy that I did a 180 in my life. I always wanted to be successful in something. And it's never too late because I'm still breathing. As long as I got breath, I'm going to fight to do what I want. Right. But I'm going to make sure that I protect what I say and do what I say. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. When I get out there with the people, you'll see the turn. Mark my words. Thank you for the $5. Appreciate it very much. Thank you. All right, we got another one for $4.99. I don't know if there's Chad or mine. This is from Ozone. Thank you, sir. How are you, Mr. Ozone? $4.99. Joey, I'm concerned. The viral video of you leaving that guy for dead might come back to haunt you on pain. What guy I left dead? I didn't leave no guy dead.
I think he's joking.
Yeah, no, I know he is. He's good. He's got good humor. No, listen, that guy ran, man. That crackhead ran, man. I knew he was a crackhead. He was one of the bums who used to sleep out in front of my apartment. Right. There's no way I'm going over to fall for his bullshit. He was going to try to stick a knife in my throat and get my money out of my pocket.
Wanted money, yeah.
That's all he was going to ask me for money or something, for a rock, you know? Nah. We're okay there, buddy. We're okay. Matter of fact, I'm going to have to bring that video. I'll have to bring that video back. That you brought it up.
I'll probably vote for you.
I'll have to bring that video up and then I'm gonna have the footage pulled from that stop from the light. They got cameras at that corner showing that day. I remember, we know what day it was because I had to stream, and we'll get the city to Tampa to give me the video footage of him running from that corner. That'll prove that we'll be exonerated right there. We can get the video. Don't worry about that. We're in good shape. But I appreciate the concern. Thank you. We can do things now. We got some. I'm going to meet the mayor, Jane Castro, next week. I'm going to her office to introduce myself. I wrote her, and she's going to have me come to her office. I'm going to meet her. I wrote her as a presidential candidate. She's a wonderful mayor. She's doing a lot of great things for Tampa, and I want to help her with her causes, and I want her to come on and help me. And I told her everything in my email, and she got back to me. She thought it was very, very nice how truthful I was.
Okay. And
how I even acknowledged that I'm a 500 million to one shot to get into the office of presidency, but I won't stop because I'm a fighter. So I'll be meeting her next week, and if she can get me into the local news stations to get where I start doing interviews for the local papers and stuff, because the local papers are going to have to. If I'm running, I'm local. I'm a story. They're going to want to know why a guy like me thinks I can run for president. So I'm going to be on every news outlet in Tampa soon. They're all going to come up and interview me, and they're all going to ask the same question: what makes you think you qualify? And I'm going to just be me and tell them what my fight's about. And that's why I do have to have some knowledge because, and I got, most politicians, when you ask a political question to them, they answer it with a quick one-liner. They divert it to their camp and come back with a one-liner that is satisfying enough for you, but shuts them really from giving you a long-term answer. I'm learning that real good. That's to get those quick, short answers that'll make you satisfied without me having to go into anything long. That's what they all do. So I just tweak that and we'll be okay. Okay. I'm very good when I want to put something to my mind to work and me to work. I'm very good and determined to get things done. I've always been like that. Joey, the corruption, unless it's Trump's lying bum. Joey hates corruption unless it's Trump. No, listen. I think Trump has done a lot of things he said he was going to do. Right? You can't fault him for it. He has done what he said he was going to do up to this point. Now he has made. I think he's put himself in a corner with some things, but obviously you got to give him the benefit. I can't get nervous when he does something a little unorthodox that people think he's hurting. That's going to wind up being good for us. You got to give him a chance to be disapproved or approved. It's not been long enough to disapprove him yet because he's done everything he said. 1 year in office, he's done everything he said, but exactly the way he said it. It's going to happen. So we have to give him that benefit. We got to see where he's at next January, if he's full of shit or if he's scamming us. We'll know by the next. We got to give him that much amount of time, at least 2 years in. I think he's doing good for us. People don't like him. I don't care. I like the guy because he's doing what he said. How many presidents go up there and they never do one thing they say? It gets buried. They do their own thing. They lie about everything they say they're going to get in place, and they just do that to get your vote. So, listen, they're trained. When the time they get out of college to become a politician, they're trained to be in that field, to be nothing but guys that smile to the rich elite and to rob you. That's all they're trained and to lie. If you talk about, go to a convention with politicians, I bet you count a fucking 1,000 lies out of the first 10 people in the first hour. I guarantee you, from 10 people, 1,000 lies will be told in the first hour out of all of them. They don't tell the truth about nothing. They give you what I call snip, snip, blow, blow. It's like the barber. You go to get the barbershop to charge you $25. You go in, I want a haircut. Okay, snip, snip, blow, blow with the blow dry. You do snip, snip, blow dry. He gives you a blow job. That's it. He gives you a $25 blow job. He cuts nothing off your hair. He makes it look like he styles your hair. And you're out the door and you're a sucker for $25. It's the same way what they do. They're good at what they do because they know how to bullshit. You understand? A bullshitter that can bullshit will always bullshit his way to the top. You understand? That's a fact, Jack. You understand that, right? And these guys are trained to do what they do. You go look at some of the people. Go look at some of the campaign money some of these people got already in their accounts. You tell me how they pulled this off if they ain't making backdoor deals. You know how much money J.D. Vance already has in his account? He's only been in office a year as vice president.
How much, Joe?
A lot of money, in the millions already.
I bet. Yeah, you can't trust none of them.
It's all. I have tribute to everybody's to see what everybody's taking in, because you got to do quarterly reports, and it's all. We're all in a group. All the people on the president list. When you go 2028 president candidates, FEC, you go down the list, you see my name, registered candidate, right there. Everything, all the reports are public. You have to. I haven't made when you make $5,000, you got to make the actual report. And then here, every 5,000 you make, they match 5,000 for certain candidates. They have that program. You raise 5,000, the country gives you 5,000. They match whatever. Every 5,000 you put in your account, your campaign goes in your campaign account. There's a program that you could sign up for people that don't have the big horses to be backing them, and they'll match for every 5,000 they match 5,000. And let me tell you something. They go through it like a microscope. This guy called me, the banker called me, goes, we really. I know that right now you're doing it by yourself, and as far as all your work, and he goes, "Who's your treasurer?" I go, "Right now, I'm everything in my party, Catalano for America 2028. But I want to get an accountant firm." And he suggested I go with an accountant firm. But I go, I can't afford grassroots to be paying no high dollars, so I have to find like a rookie one coming out of school that's going to become an accountant. Someone that's going to believe in the causes and just going to be honest and let him be the treasurer. You understand? I have to appoint a treasurer. I have to find a campaign manager. Is a hard sell because no one of experience is going to be campaign manager, because they're going to look at me and say, I can't win. Why would I take your? So they're only in it for the win. I don't want somebody like that. I already got the questions. I'm going to interview them. I'm going to ask these questions. If they answer these questions, I have what the right answer should be and what the wrong answer should be. If they answer anything of those questions and are wrong, they're not for me. They're not going to work for me because they don't care about anything I stand for. They're going to care about winning, and they know they can't win. So I can't get a traditional campaign manager because no one's going to take the job. See, I could pay a campaign manager. I could pay a campaign manager. I could pay bodyguards. I could pay for buses. I could pay for hotels. I could pay for traveling. As long as I'm doing everything pertaining to all my printing, I could do. I can't pay my car payment. I can't pay my house rent. I can't buy myself shoes. I can't buy myself a shirt. I can't do none of that. It's got to be only for the campaign. I go out and buy a 5,000 bait caps that say Catalano for America, Catalano for 2028, or Sardina Catalano. I could do that. I could do that. That's legitimate. I could have a store with campaign swag that's got to go into the campaign account, not to my pocket. It's got to be tied to the campaign. Money that's being sold for that, long as it's going into the funds to use for the campaign, I could have a store and sell swag. It cannot come to me. The minute they see it pointed to me, it's all over. They come and put the bracelets on me, and I go away federal for misappropriation of campaign funds. I don't want none of that. I don't want nobody to come to my house and put me in a handcuff. Okay? That never happen again. I don't want to break the law. I've done enough damage in my life. It's time now to me to be the person I'm meant to be. 100% honest, follow the laws, follow every rule and regulation. I have to have structure. I know that. Everybody has to have discipline. I always thought I was above that. That's where I made my mistake in life. I thought I was above the law. I thought I was above being with rules and regulations at work. I was wild. I did my job. I thought because I did my job better than anybody, I was untouchable. Most part I was, but I wasn't. You understand? So I lost a couple of jobs because I was too much of my mouth and did things my way. I didn't listen. See, I know where all my mistakes. I know every mistake I made in my life. No one made them for me but me. I made all my mistakes in life. I take full accountability for everything I did. But I will not change my personality. I'm not going to be phony when I'm giving a speech. I'm not going to be that guy. I'm not just going to go up there to smile and tell you a lie. I'm going to be me. That's the way I have to be. And people will learn to respect that because I'm being real. They want realness. That's what they want. We're tired of traditional. Realness is what people are looking for. They're looking someone's eyes in his heart and see this is a man that will die for us. He'll protect us. He'll do right by us. That's all I want, to do 100% the right thing here. And any way that we have to do it. And we're going to fight to get elected.
Right.
Now, either you're going to be on board with us or you're going to be against us. That's your choice. Your right as an American citizen. You can either vote for us or not vote for us. We hope you vote for us. We hope that you could start believing us and believing in us. And don't take anything at word. Make sure that I prove and do what I say. Hold me accountable. I want you to hold me accountable. If I say something I'm going to get done, I want you to. I don't want no excuses that I'm trying to weasel out of it. I'm not going to backpedal at all. I'm not going to go in their camp and play ball with them and concede to go that they defeated me, so I'm going to become them. I will not fail that way. I want to be held accountable. So you have all the right to do that. If you put me in office, you have the right to know every detail about me. I'm a public official. It's your right as a citizen and a voter to know every move I'm making, for me to be transparent to you, for me to tell you if it's unorthodox, the route I'm going. I'm not saying to not break the law, but my methods might be a little unorthodox, a way that maybe most traditionally people wouldn't do, but they're going to still be within the law.
Right.
You understand? I just do things a lot harder and I cut all the middle stuff out and go right for the throat. I'm a warrior. That's one thing I am. I'm definitely a warrior. Been my whole life. Been a fighter my whole life, and I survived most shit that most people couldn't even fucking stomach. And I'm still here standing. And I'm looking good.
That's right.
And I got my Elvis shirt on today because I love Elvis.
Oh, yeah.
And let's get one thing straight. I don't work on January the 8th because that's Elvis's birthday.
Nice.
Elvis Presley. I bought this at Graceland. Cost me $65 for this shirt.
Wow.
That's what they charge in the gift shop. $65 for this. It's the same shirt that he wore. Elvis wore shirts like this. He got it in Memphis at Beale Street. He went to the same store and bought his shirts. He had his shirts made there. And I shopped at the store that Elvis Presley used to buy his shirts from. Go there. It's still open, still in business. I went to Sun Studios where he cut his first record. They have a tour there. You go there and you touch the actual microphone that Elvis sang that first song with. They have that. They still have that. They bring it out for the tour. Yeah, it's amazing. You're sitting up there in the spot. They got his feet prints right there, and you stand on Elvis's feet prints, and you held the microphone, the old-fashioned microphone that he did, that he sang that first song. That's all right, mama. That's all right now. That's all right, mama. That's all right, mama. That's all right. That's all right. That's all right, mama. Any old way. Did you guys know that Elvis Presley was thrown out by the Grand Ole Opry? They told him he should not quit his day job and he should not be a singer and go back to driving a truck. You know, Elvis Presley made them eat them words, and he never went back to perform there ever again when he became who he became. They tried to get him for years. He never forgot what they told him when 1957. They told him, boy, you need to quit your singing job. Because they didn't understand him. And here's my other catchphrase. People fear what they don't understand. They go into panic mode. And they panicked when Elvis Presley was up there doing, when he was gyroing, and they were freaking out. And they were like, what's that boy doing with his hips? What's he doing with his pelvis? Elvis the pelvis. And the women were going crazy trying to rip his clothes off. They were scared. They didn't know what the hell he was. They saw a white man singing black music. That's what they saw. A white man doing black music. That's what they saw. And he's the best.
Right.
I'm an Elvis Presley historian. I know everything about that man. All right, what's next? Let's see. We got Joey hates. I already read that. Joey hates corruption. We already read that. This is Detroit by Dark. I ain't seen you in a while, buddy. How you doing, man? $5. Can Lou the God be Secretary of Interior and take charge of the influx of manatee into America? There will be a job for Lou if he wants to come to the White House. I will find something for Lou because I like Lou. Lou's a good guy. I will definitely try to help him if he wants a job. I think Lou's a pretty smart guy. I think so. We'll find some kind of job for Lou. We'll do something. We'll find something for Lou. We'll find something for a lot of people. We'll help people. We're gonna help people. We're gonna give jobs to a lot of people.
That's right.
That's what we're about. You know. Heck, I'm already not liking the Secret Service. I'm reading down them. You know, I'm not gonna take their crap. You know. They work for me. They got to understand that. I'll fire them all and bring my own security team in. And they ain't going to like my security team. They ain't going to like them. They ain't going to like the way they look. As long as they act accordingly and understand that they have a job and I understand that job and I respect that. But they ain't going to be getting no sassy mouth with me. Mufasta. $1.09. Chad, had you ever considered eating yourself?
No, but thank you for your vote.
I don't think anybody ever think about eating himself, but that's a thought. I mean, that's a good question, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think
no bad questions.
Yeah, there's no bad. There's nothing bad. There's bad publicity. There's good publicity. Negative publicity is good publicity. You know, there's nothing bad. Am I crazy for putting myself through the ringer like this? Probably. Is it worth it to me? Absolutely. Mufasa. Oh, I already read that one. What the hell? Oh, that was it. That was the end. Well, we concluded that. All right, so we got 5 more minutes and we're out of here. So real quick, I'm going to just take you guys to this. And please sign up. It's free. I made it free. I'm not going to charge. I decided to be. I'm not gonna, because if I charge it, it's got to go to that money because it's for the campaign would have to go there, and you guys would have to pay through that. So I would have to. I think on that. I don't. No, they gave me the outlet. As long as everything that I do for the campaign is directed to the campaign place, as long as I follow that and I do everything by the book, then we're okay. So, but I'm going to make it free so we can have fun. But it's all political talk. You can come and tell me your political views. You can leave comments. There's certain rooms you can leave comments in. Certain places that I only can post to. But here's this thing first. Now let me show you this. All right, what happened here? Oh, I got to get out of here. I got to get out of this. Wait a second. I got to get out of the super tip. Yeah, we're going to go back to the main room now. We're done here showing that. We're going to go back to the main room. There we are. Okay, so now, how do we do this? Do I stay in the main room? Oh, I think I had to stay in the main room. Let's see. If I'm sharing something, let's see. I think I do got to go to the main room. I got to go back to the video room. Right. Hang on, there we go. So let me see. If I got it now, it's here. It's up there sharing. Which one is it? On the button, it should be this one. Is it this one? No. Yep, there it is. So it is this one. I got to relabel it. Oh, let me take down that super chat. So, all right, so there we go. All right, so now this is where my campaign is set up for campaign funds. Now let me bring this out. It's I put the thing in the chat. Catalano for America 2021. This is the page. You go and it goes right into the account with the FEC. That's this account here that's monitored. And then if I need anything for the campaign, I have to put a requisition in for the money, and they mail the check or they pay the bill. It's like basically you get accounts with plays like a printing company. They can take it right, send it right to them directly. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a matter of setting stuff up and doing it that way. I don't need no cash. It doesn't work like that. It's just not a bank account. I go in and take a pile of cash out of it. I can't do that. It's not allowed, and I would never even want to do that. I don't really want to keep the books on it. I'd rather the bank do it. So the bank guy is going to work, and he stay with me through the whole campaign as long as I'm in. And he'll be my personal banker, and he's going to monitor the account, and he'll get me in the right track. He knows I want to be 100% transparent, no funny stuff, and everything to be every invoice, anything to spend to be docketed right to the T, everything to be turned in. I have to turn my part in so he has the records, and everything is done right. So this way, when they come to take my books, everything is in order. That everything matches. That's all I want is to come out with a clean slate. So this is the way to do it. This is the way you could put the campaign, and you choose. You could do a monthly thing. You could do a one-time charge. That's that. So that's real quick. I'll get off of that. That's what you do for that. All right. Now let's see here. What did I do here? Oh shit! I killed the wrong side. I'm just learning EVMux. EVMux is a great thing to use once you learn how to use it the proper way. I've got it down to a science, but I've got a few bugs I got to work out. All right, so we're taking that out. That's I got to look for. I'm just gonna look for dots. You just got to push button. Did that take that out? I think it did. All right, so now I got to go back to share screen again, and then I got to go here, and I'm gonna be which one am I doing now? Okay, we'll take you here. All right, we'll go here. All right, and I think it's which one was it? Was this one? Yeah, this is my actual X page. That's not the GOAT. There it is. This is my page, and everything I post every day. Just to show you some of the things I post. Let me see here. This is something let's see what I wrote here. Hey everyone, Joey here. Just checking in to say hello and share a thought. America doesn't need argument. It needs law that works. That's what we build, but that's what we're building together. Let's get it done. And then you see everybody I copy, everybody I tag every day, which is getting me traction. They're all the right places. The CNN Politics, J.D. Vance, Michael Francesi, Elon Musk, Donald Trump, J.D. Vance. I make sure. Sometimes I put Barack on there, so I put Bill Clinton in there. I'm upset with the Clintons right now. I'm very upset with Pelosi. I made a harsh statement yesterday. I had to retract on Pelosi when she was drowning. What would you do to save her, and what would you do to get her out of the water or save her? And my first reaction was throw her a cinder block so she drowns. And I had to take that back. That wasn't the right thing to say. And I got yelled at by someone that's helping my campaign. They said you don't go fight negative stuff with negativity. You fight them with being smart and making it yours. Take control of the situation and make a good thought. Always a good thought. Always a positive thought back. I'm learning that. It's the art of war. You got to have. It's better to be positive and attack positive than it is negative. It's not good to be negative. Negative winds up making you a bad way. But this is my page, and I got all kind of stuff I post every day on here. Let's see, I put some pretty good stuff on here daily. Everything everything is coming from my brain that I thought I put into the computer. I don't write well, I don't spell well, and I don't make sense. But when I give it to them, it comes out on the other end as the right thing to say. So, this guy saying nice things about me. Surprisingly cogent. Thank you, Joey. Okay, this guy was something. I said something that making sense. These are people that are starting to see that I might actually know what I'm talking about, and I'm fighting for all the right causes. One guy gave me some great advice, Calverton. He said, Joey, don't point fingers. Don't be that guy. Don't point what they done wrong. We all know what they done wrong. Be the guy that's going to show the people how you're going to fix the problem and make the problem be fixed. He's right. He was 100% right, and he woke me up on that. I stopped attacking the negative, which I've been working on my negative side anyhow. But he even made it go faster for me because he was 100% right. So I take advice from someone that gave me some constructive criticism in the chat, who really is concerned that I don't get myself in trouble, and if I'm going to do this, do it right. There's nothing worse to do with something half-ass. So that we're not trying to be half-ass here. We're trying to be right here, 100%. Right. And that. There's no other way. I can't do it in any other way, because I have done bad in my life, and people know that. If I talk about that and I'm accountable for that, they can't weaponize against me a year from now. We're going to take that right. I'm chopping them off at the knee. They're going to have no recourse to come after me because everything's going to be known to everybody in America. They're going to know what they're voting for. I won't have it any other way. And people do care. Some people don't care about your past as long as you are striving to do the right thing now. That's what people want to see. They want to see the realness in you. I've learned that much in life. People are better to be in your corner if you're real and speak from your heart and be transparent than to be there and sit there and tell them a bunch of empty lies and tell them a bunch of bullshit. People don't want to see that. You have to be, this is the time in my life, I must fix my life to be 100% correct on everything. And I got to take baby steps and I got to learn as I go and I got to watch that I don't make no mistake. I got no room for error. A guy like me makes room for error, I'm done. You understand? So there's no room for error. This was something I want to see. Did I write this? Yeah, this was a long one. I got to read it. But you guys, oh yeah, president's addicted to crack. Bottom straight. I was bouncing on something about that happened with politicians that went to prison for crack and then came out and got reelected. So this is just showing that people that were bad that were in office turned their life around and got reelected. It could happen. Anything can happen. If people believe in you, people believe in you. That's the whole thing. Is if people really believe you're sincere, and if you show sincerity and you mean it, why would people not want to vote? They don't care about the mistakes as long as you're being accountable and you're changing your life. They want to see. They want people that have experience that done bad, so you can explain to them this is not the route to go. What the mistakes I made, I will tell you how easy it is to get to this road, and they know you help them with that. People want that. That's what they want in a person. So, and I got both sides of the fence in a lot of areas that there's reason why I feel I'm qualified. So this is
Absolutely.
I write some good stuff. So that's my X page. We'll get out of there now. I got two more things to show you and we're out of here. We got to go. We have Kira to share this one. Let's see. Go here. This one here. No, that's not. That's super tips. Here it is, right here. This is the thing I want everybody. It's all political talk. This is my Skull page. I made it completely free. I have the first member that signed up for me. The very first member that signed up. My dear friend Michael Francesi, first guy to sign up. Lou was the second guy. Chad was the third guy. Okay, so I don't want my friends to have to worry about paying a monthly fee, and I want the voters to worry about, because I got some people now that are coming in there that are into politics and they're watching me post things and they're telling their comedy saying that was a nice. I mean, it's simple stuff. It's just here. It's free to smile at somebody and to hold the door open. And if you're in Walmart and you see someone in front of you, it don't cost you nothing to open that door and allow them to go in front of you. It doesn't cost. Oh boy, I don't like this. Hang on, this is not good. Private number this late. Hello.
Oh no.
Hello. 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 Hello.
You think you'll make a great president?
No. Who is this? Huh?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Who are you? Huh? How'd you get my number? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Wow.
Somebody from the chat room got my number. So somebody gave out my number.
It's crazy. It's happening already.
I don't really give a shit because you know what? They can't beat me. They can't beat me. So they playing with the wrong motherfucker. They want to come play with me.
That's right.
One thing I will say this. My right as an American. If someone comes to do harm on me, I have the right to put them in the ground if they come into my space.
Absolutely.
And I promise you, they will leave in a body bag. So anytime I welcome anybody to come through that door, and I promise you, they'll never walk out. That much I'll guarantee, and it's my right as a citizen. Come to do bodily harm on me and my family, you're going to not live through it, I promise you. Make threats to me, you better carry them out, and you better get the job done. So this is a great page. I got all these general discussion, prison reform. I got prison reform. That's the Internet Act. Bring home the forgotten is one of our subjects, and we got second chances, grassroots, media watch, weekly live Q&As, which I do. I got some questions there. There's some great questions in there. Go in there and give me your answers. Have some fun with that. We're gonna have next Saturday. We're gonna just come on for a coffee hour. We're gonna sit and we're gonna go on a live. I could go live here, right here. Go live, and I go in here and you join the call, and we're live from here, and we all could talk and talk politics. We don't have to do nothing but YouTube. This is just our little private little circle. Now everybody could come in You know, of course, I'm setting myself up by doing this to have. I'm gonna have to weed out probably some of the bad trolls, but it'll self-sustain themselves. We'll get them out of there because I can spot them a mile away, so I'm not worried about it. But this is strictly for the campaign. You want to talk politics, you want to give ideas, you want to get concerns, you want to voice your opinion about how stupid I'm doing for running. Every criticism, everything we're gonna take. We're gonna listen to everything you got to say. Okay, just be respectful. You want to be criticized, well, I'm okay with that. If you feel that I'm crazy for doing this, that's okay. You can voice that too, but be respectful about it. Because I will say this: I am a registered president candidate, and be careful how you talk and threaten. If you try to threaten me, that could be bad for you. So I am protected under laws now. So, and I'm going to give you the same respect back. Unless you're a scumbag, then we deal with scumbags like we deal with scumbags. Like that scumbag that just called me the coward that just called me with the block number. The coward. You're in the chat room, you're a coward. You're a fucking coward. You sounded young too. A young coward. It's a shame that you're a young coward at your age. Huh? Very shame. Very shame. Ashamed. Because that was a pretty young voice. Someone that sounded like in his 20s. It's a shame how pathetic you are. How yellow belly you are. How you call my number privately. You ain't even a man enough to show your fucking name. You think I'm going to take you serious? You can't even show your number and your ID, but you're big enough to call it in private, right? That makes you a fucking yellow belly piece of shit. Okay? Be a fucking man. You could come at me being a man. Don't be a little boy. Because little boys are not going to last. I eat little boys for dinner. I'll crush you like a fucking grape. Come at me like a man and you get respect. Right? That's a fact. I got no tolerance for no bullshit. Okay? So that's that. And then you got my ex, and then I got Catalano. Catalano's my campaign Facebook page. And you got that if you really want to participate. If you want to volunteer, let me know. If you're in a place that you could get signatures. If you want to help in any way to the campaign, we're going to start getting all this together and getting people to go out and get signatures. We got a lot of work ahead of us. So if you believe that it's worth the fight, whether you believe I'm going to win or not, but you believe the fight and I'm talking all the right lingo and I'm making sense, at least let's get me on the ballot and let the people decide. And if they decide for us and you guys are part of it, I told you, the people that are on board.
Wait, what happened to Joey? What are we doing? Don't forget, 2028, vote Catalano Sardina for the win, brother. Where'd he go? Don't forget, united teams win, divided teams fail. We don't have time for the hate in 2028.
What happened? I left the studio.
Yeah, I don't know.
What the hell happened? Anyhow, I appreciate everybody listening tonight. I think we got all the super chats and all everything. Let me make sure I got no super tips. I think we got everything. I appreciate it. Chad, I'm gonna check that email to tell me exactly what I did send you. If I send you the form, I'm gonna get you that packet and give you that number. They're really nice people. They'll give you all the information on the phone. You just,
all right, I'll check it out tomorrow.
Yeah. And we just got to get on. We got New York. It's going to be one of the not really easy, but it's good. You got a lot of you know a lot of people there, so
right.
If people will support you, so they'll want to get. We just got to. They're not voting. Let them know they're not voting for us at this point. They're just getting us on the ballot. That's what this process is. It's not their vote. They can still change their mind and not vote for us, but we would like them to give us the opportunity to get on the ballot. That's what we're doing here. They're not locked into voting for us by signing that signature card. That's for sure.
Okay.
Make sure you make them aware of that.
We're
just asking for them to give us that push we need to get the votes in their state. I don't look like Georgia. I'm going to worry about Georgia. Georgia has got some stipulations. They got their state laws are stuff for anybody that's a felon. Some states have the rights to do that. They don't have to take federal candidates that are allowed to be run for president. They don't have to let you be on the ballot in their state. Okay. Yeah. So Georgia's one of them states that they don't take no convicted felons on their ballot. So, and I asked the question. I have to ask that question. I'm running for president, which I have the right to. I'm accepted. I'm registered. But state laws are different. Hey, chicken shit, yeah. Coward boy. What do you want? What do you want, coward boy? What do you want, little boy? You call me with a private number, you're a yellow belly bitch. You understand that?
Right.
You understand that, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. You're a punk, bitch, a coward. And I'm telling you that, and I'll tell you to your face. So get with the program. quit being a fucking little boy and be a man. You understand? But you're not a man because you're nothing but a fucking piece of shit troll, a punk troll at that. Okay.
Wow.
See, I'm gonna call now. I'm gonna call some people right now in law enforcement, and I'm gonna have them trap. They'll get those private numbers for me.
That's right.
Because they can't. Because there's a lot of things I am a privilege to now. So we're gonna find out who that is, and we're gonna go after him. So let him keep doing this shit.
They better watch out.
That's okay. It's okay. He ain't even close to play in our league. He's nothing but a punk and a yellow belly bitch. That's what he is. Everybody, we love you. Have a good night. We'll see you soon. Oh, wrong one.